vacation, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.
Yo, what is going on, everybody, man? Appreciate everybody that's tapped in already and everybody that's going to tap in. All right, man. Listen, tonight's special. I have a special guest on tonight. I'm telling you, she knows her stuff. She knows ball. We're going to talk about the NFC North versus the AFC North, man. It's going to be lit. Let me go ahead and get her on, man. We ain't even going to waste no more time because I got to give her a real introduction once she's on the screen. Let's go. Hey there. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? First of all, it's kind of cool to like be here and not in the chat, because usually I'm in the chat talking amongst the amazing people you have in your chat. So
right. Well, we appreciate you in the chat. You know, that means a lot, joining the community and being able to interact with everybody. I'll tell you one thing, like for sure, this community that I've built over here, and really everybody plays a part in it. It's been amazing. Like, we're so welcoming. Only people we don't really communicate with much is if a Packers fan pops in. Other than that, you know, and Lions fans are, you know, they're working their way on that list. But right now we're still all right. You know, they can pop in every once in a while. But Packers fans, you pop in, yeah, they getting that work, you know. But how you been though? You been all right?
I am well. I'm tired. I'm all the things, but I'm a woman. I'm an adult, so I'm hanging in there.
Right. You know, I gotta say, you know, I want to give, first of all, before we do that, let's give a shout out to everybody. We got Skull Mafia in the building. My Skull Broski, what's good? Sodak, I see you, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Two Tone, what's good, man? Holla at your boy. What's up, man? I see you in a minute. Shout out Papa Gary, man. Shout out Charles, Davey OG. I see you in the building. Shout out to you, man. Eric from New Mexico, Florinda and Raquel. What's happening, man? You gonna get the Ricky for sure. Shout out, let's see, make sure we ain't miss nobody. VIKE, what's going on, man? Shout out my guy, man. He said two of my favorite people. Let's go. Aww. Hey, facts. Norris, what's good? Norris, my guy. Shout out Norris in the building, man. Let's go. Al, I see you, man. Appreciate you tapping in too, man. Y'all make sure hit that like button, man. Hit the like button so we can get the community in here because we got to hear it, man. Bandito, my bad, man. I see you, Bandito, man. My bad. I know I'm going to miss somebody. Always somebody popping in. You know what I'm saying? But I got to give you your respect right now. We just got to lay it on the line. Like, so what? So first of all, we've known each other for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Solid 3 weeks, maybe.
Solid 3 weeks. So she emailed me about, you know, joining her series that she puts together of all 32 teams, and she goes and finds a fan or a representative, a content creator that represents that said team. And I happened to win the Viking slot. I felt like I actually won something, to be real with you. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. I felt like I won something. But you know, we had a great episode, and that episode should be coming out soon. But just the work that she put in to go through all 32 teams, and you only have one more team, and it's actually your team. So
it's my team.
There's no pressure. No pressure, right? You can technically do that one by yourself.
I know.
You know but I look forward to it coming out. Can you let us know, like, I know there's some already released, but if you want to touch on like how the rest of it's going to unfold.
Yeah. So just so everybody level set. So what I try to do is release teams by division. And so I don't edit the videos, download the videos, or even start working on a division to release until that division is complete. And so I realized last year it was just better to do that to keep myself organized. So what I'm doing this year is the way that I finish the divisions or how the divisions are going to release. So breaking news, this week is going to be the NFC South. And so they're all edited, they're all uploaded. I have a couple of their release dates ready. And then when I release it, I do it by how I think teams are going to finish in their division. So the last place team is Monday, and then the third place team is Tuesday, so forth and so on. Usually that's when people get really pissed off at me, is because they realize that like I don't think their team's going to be very good. There's that. But yeah, so everybody has their own episode. I try very hard to have it's very you, right? Like, it will have your information in the description. The comments will be for you. Like, everything I do, I try to make them independent episodes within the same division. And it just helps people like know what's going on, what other teams are doing. No one's paying as much to your team as you are with other teams, unless you're me, because sometimes I feel like I know more about other people's teams than I do my own, just because I'm like, I can learn that, like I got that.
Right.
So that's what I do. So this is the NFC South. I don't know what next week is going to be. It's either going to be you all and the NFC North, or it's going to be the AFC South, because those are the two. I think somebody finished like 11 a.m. and then the next person finished at like 3 p.m. So you know, but once they're there, I download them and edit them. When I say edit, if you don't have a YouTube channel, editing is where you like have to upload and do all the YouTube things. That's what I call it. So that's what I mean by editing. And that stuff, in my opinion, takes forever.
It does.
To upload, and then description, and then the thumbnails are kind of easy for me because I'm kind of, I already created them. But anyways, so that's what I do.
Well, hey, let's go. We gotta get a round of applause for that. We gotta get a round of applause. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, and everybody always says like, I could probably do my division. And then when they like watch an episode, they're like, no, I lied. I couldn't do.
No. I think just the scheduling part for me would be enough. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm done. Like the first person that cancels. And what really inspired me too, though, like not that it inspired me to do it, but just gave me inspiration to do this, right? And was when I seen the video of you talking about how many no's you actually get. Like people don't realize, like for you to put that series together, the amount of no's and the amount of people that didn't show up and said they were going to be there, but didn't. And I mean, just that alone, that right there, it takes, the reason why I want to give you so many flowers about this whole series and that part in particular of hearing no's is because it takes a special person. First of all, it takes somebody who's really dedicated and doesn't accept a no. Me coming from sales, I know that because I've been in sales my whole life, and I know when you're in sales, you get no's, and you got to learn. You have to actually train yourself to understand that you're going to get no's, know how to accept them, and then keep moving forward. Though, let it motivate you, and that's kind of what you did with this whole series. So again, I gotta give another round of applause, man. We ain't gonna get mushy. I'm just saying, like, we gotta give a round of applause.
It's kind of funny. Because the video you're referring to, at the time I had sent 117 communications. Because what I try to do is every team, I'll try to find at least 3 people that I want to talk to. But I don't think what people realize is when I find people, like I watch content and I make sure like the person seems like they know what they're talking about. Right. And then when they respond back, I still have to communicate. So there's that. So it's just like this constant stream of, and a lot of it too is selling myself, because a lot of people are like, what does she know about football? Like, what can she tell me? And so, I see my channel and whatever. Most people are like, oh, okay, she knows what she's talking about. She's fine. But I get a lot of no's. I get a lot of no's, and then I get a lot of people after it's released that come back around and that are like, I should have said yes if you do it next year. And I'm kind of like, interesting.
Yeah. Nor said no, rap. Hey, hold up. No, hey, I ain't accepting it. Nah. All right, but like that's great. That honestly, it really is. And I can't wait till our episode comes out. Everybody be on the lookout for the Vikings episode. I represented us well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, at least. You know what I'm saying?
You did. I haven't. I've watched ours back. I've probably watched about half of it. Because that's the other thing. I will go back and watch it through just to make sure it all recorded and sounds good. Yeah. But so yeah, I've watched some of it. It's pretty good. So.
Okay, good. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I feel good about that. So let's get to it. I wanted to have this conversation. When I invited you to come on, I'm like, what's the best conversation we could have? And I think it made the most sense after all the stuff we just talked about for the last 10 minutes about how you've been and talked to all these people. You've covered the AFC North, and and you've also covered the NFC North. So that consists of a Lions representative, a Bears representative, a Packers representative, me being the Vikings representative, and same for the AFC North, right? So I want to know, like, we'll start off with like the Lions, right? Let's just talk about the Lions, only because they were number 1, right? They were at the top of our food chain as far as NFC North, and it's been that way for 2 years. I want to kind of get your opinion on, speaking to the Lion, and I have no idea who the Lions representative was. You can give them a shout out if you like. We don't have no issues with it if you want to, but I just kind of want to know, like, what was the vibe there with the conversation? Or do they feel threatened by the Viking? Did they mention the Viking? Did he mention, or she? Because I know you had some ladies on as well. Did he or she mention the Minnesota Vikings? And if so, what did they say about us? And then kind of just after that, just kind of spill like what you think, how you think they'll match up against the AFC North.
Yeah, so I think that the interesting thing about the Lions fan is that they've experienced the being really bad and then being really good. And so I think he's trying to figure out, like, where are we? Are we that really good team, or are we like kind of in the middle? What does it look like? I think everybody that had a great season last year, except for probably the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles, are saying they're probably not going to win as many games as they did last year, but are we going to be better if we win less games, or what does that look like? And so he kind of was like, and he obviously, they lost their OC, they lost their DC, the way that they got bullied last year surprised everybody unless you're a Commanders fan. And
Yeah.
so I think he's kind of thinking, like, I don't know who we are, who we're going to be, but he definitely was like, I don't need to win the division this year, but I need us to be good in the playoffs. So that's kind of the concessions I'm kind of seeing with the Lions, is like, listen, if we are good and make the playoffs, I'm okay with that. If we don't win the division, I'm fine with that. Like, we need some losses. Like, we need a different mix, which is normal. Anytime your team ever goes 14 and whatever, you always are like, listen, I'll take some losses if that means I go longer in the playoffs.
Right.
That's kind
exactly.
of, that's the first concession you're willing to make. And but I mean, obviously he's very confident. He feels good about what's happening. I think the defensive line, there's some concerns, but not concerns as if, like, I don't know if we're going to be good, but just concerns because it's new coaching and new styles and new all the things. So that's really where the Lions, I feel like, are at right now, is kind of like, we're good because we have a good foundation. We haven't lost our leader and our head coach, but we have lost some things that made us go last year. We don't know what that looks like.
Right. That's one of the things that, shout out Marty McFly. Appreciate you, bro, for the $9.99, man, for sure, man. That's love. He said, back to work, my peeps. Later rap Skull for life, man. You already know, man. Let's go, man. SKOL, man. Let's go. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, McFly, for sure. That's something that we talked about over here too, like as a community on my recent shows, was just saying, like, I think people are really underestimating how valuable it is when you're talking about a offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator that were probably two of the best in the league last year. Like, when you're thinking about rankings for their position that they were in, right? Offensive coordinator Johnson was up there as the number one guy. That's why he got probably the money he got and was sought after from the teams that needed a head coach. And same for their defensive coordinator. What's his name again? The defensive coordinator. I always forget his name. He's at the Jets now. He's the Jets coach.
Ben Johnson?
No. The defensive coordinator. I forget. So drop it in the chat, y'all. Glenn. There we go.
I can't think of.
You're right. Yep, Glenn. So, and I think it's Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. Okay.
Yeah. So he was up there too as like one of the best defensive coordinators. So I look at that like that has to mean something, right? It has to affect something. Right. I always say, even though you're going to keep it in the family, because I think they're going to obviously try to keep the scheme the same.
Right.
I always say people don't think the same though. Like, you can have, like, me and you can have the same tools, but you may think about that tool different than I think about it, and we use it differently. So again, there could be some kind of fall off there.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, yes. and I don't think he would be surprised if there was fall off. And I think that, I always say, and I'm a college woman as well, so I always say, though, this happens in college football, right? You start the season and you start on a high, and then you kind of dwindle because it's that rush is gone, right? Now you're in the monotony of the season and you're kind of like, and these kids are so young. Yeah. And then they finish the season. And so you have to go back and say, who are they? Are they this great person at the highest peak? No. Are they the person at the lowest peak? No. They're what they were the most consistent. And so I don't know. I think the Lions are in an interesting position though, because I think they're in the most interesting position, in my personal opinion, in the NFC North, because a lot of people have very high expectations for them. And I just don't know if they're going to be able to meet them because the expectations are so high.
Right. So no, I agree. Shout out Salif. Shout out Diesel in the building. I see y'all, man. Hey, everybody too. Make sure y'all go subscribe to her channel. It is in the title. I know I could put it in the description and all that, but the title's super easy because as long as you add them, it turns the name blue. Yeah. Just tap the blue name and it will take you right where you need to go. So make sure you tap on that. Shout out Purple Diamond. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, show her some love, like her videos, comment under her videos throughout the football season, because again, like she said, she talks college football. I mean, she just talks football. Just football. Even though she is a Steeler a Steelers fan and a representative of the Steelers, she still talks all football because she loves it. And, you know, hey, we got to make sure we're showing her support, because I'm sure there'll be a video about the Vikings, at least a couple videos about the Vikings this upcoming season.
Yeah,
you know,
you will get a preview. You'll get a preview video and you'll get a reaction video from me.
There you go. JJ McCarthy coming up, you know, starting out the season. We got to hear what she really talking about, you know, when it get closer. But is there a team in the AFC North that you feel like, first of all, there's going to be, so I just want to make sure I got my math right. We're playing every team in the AFC North. So to predict the schedule, Lions against the AFC North. What do you think, they go 4-0?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So the funny thing is the NFC North and the AFC North are very similar, but in my opinion, very different. Like, I think the AFC North has a more dynamic offense than the NFC North, which is weird, only because we have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and they're going to make their offenses go. So whether, you know, if they lose, you know, it's not because of the offense. It's usually because of the defense, which also usually doesn't happen because the defenses are pretty good, except for Cincinnati. You know, it's debatable. The Steelers are in quarterback purgatory. So whatever that is, like whatever that's going to be, who knows? But
Aaron Rodgers is
sure, you know, and you know, and I always say, like, and if Aaron Rodgers shows up, it makes the Steelers better. Yeah. And so there's also that aspect of it. And I always tell people in the AFC North, the way to win games in the AFC North is to not turn the ball over. If you can not turn the ball over, your chances of winning are very high in the AFC North, because we play really great defense. But if you turn the ball over and you give that offense another chance, chances are you're going to lose. And it's just one turnover, you know, because Steelers historically score a lot of field goals. You know, that's what we do because our offense sucks. And, you know, that's just what happens. But you can't give Joe Burrow another offensive possession. You can't give Lamar Jackson another offensive possession. And you will notice I don't really talk about Cleveland when it comes to offense, because why?
Who's their who's going to be the court? They don't even know they're going to be their quarterback either. I mean, it's looking like Shedeur Sanders is going to win that job. But again, I seen a report where they had Dylan Gabriel and obviously Joe Flacco. So they had Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. They're saying that they're going to be taking the 1 reps right now. But I think Shedeur can probably win it, though, honestly. Like,
I think it's going to be a dumpster fire. That's just who they are. Yeah. And I think if I go off past behavior, it's going to be a dumpster fire. I mean, you know, what do you want me to do?
Like it always is, right?
Exactly.
You like me. I like to go off evidence. You know what I'm saying? And the evidence tells me that it's going to be a dumpster fire. That's
So if I had to pick, I would think I think it wouldn't surprise me if everybody just split with AFC North. Like if the Lions split 2 games, if you all split 2 games, because I think that's kind of how it goes, because we're not the same teams. And we're on the same division, but we have different strengths and different weaknesses. But the one thing that will always maintain, even the Browns, is we play really good defense.
I think you can go to like saying like it's like the black and blue division. I know, you know, they call us the black and blue division. Like we, you know, strong, hard hitting when we play within each other. Yep, hard nose. It's the same thing with you guys in the AFC. I feel like anytime, you know, obviously Steelers and Ravens games always going to be, you know, hey, go out there and you just laying it on the line. I mean, those games back in the day, man, where I'm even as just a fan of football, you love to see Ravens versus Steelers on Sunday night football, Monday night. I mean, you knew it was going to be lit. Like for real, those dudes were going to be out there laying the hat, man. Ray Lewis and them, man, that was some good football to watch. You hear me? But that's kind of how they look at the NFC North too, and how we look at it too. Like just hard hitting, you know, when we play each other, it's going to be aggressive. We're going to go out there. And that's one thing, you know, that's a segue into kind of when we play the Browns and we play them first in Dublin. It doesn't really bother me that much because I feel like we're going to be able to beat. I just feel like we're a better football team, and I just
y'all play the Browns first.
Do we play the Browns, or is it no? We play the Steelers first. I'm sorry, we do play the Steelers first.
See, and if I was a Vikings fan, which I'm not, Let me reverse it. As a Steelers fan, when I look at that, I'm not worried because JJ McCarthy, this is his first season as a starter. And historically, the Steelers defense against a guy who's just starting and just kind of getting his sea legs doesn't really fare that well. Plus, now he's got to go overseas. He's got to do all these like weird things, that are just weird. Because I think the whole schedule thing is weird. That's a whole different conversation for a different day.
That is. And we'll talk about it today. No, we'll get to that today.
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like, I mean, if I was a Vikings fan, I would be like, all right, great. Get to play the Steelers. Who is their quarterback? Who cares?
Yeah.
I always tell people, never look at who the Steelers quarterback is. Always look at what the Steelers defense is. Because the Steelers quarterback, minus Ben Roethlisberger, we don't have a quarterback. So don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at every season since, we've won 10 games, 11 games. I don't know how. Don't ask me how we won or what we did. We just did. So, true. And again, I always say, those are the teams that I'm scared of, is the teams where you're like, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to hit us hard though.
Yeah. So that was the thing too, that I was thinking about, because that's what I meant to say. We are playing the Steelers first. And I think that's what I'm thinking, knowing that we're playing the Steelers first across there, we know that that's going to be a physical football game, regardless of who the quarterback is. Our offense is going to get beat up a little bit. Just, they're going to have to bring their A game, because no matter, like you said, no matter what, they're going to hit, right?
Yeah.
So then after that game, it's about, can we make sure that we're not physically tired to get trapped in a game against the Browns, a game that you should win. Everybody's probably going to have you winning, especially at that point. But yet playing a tough team like the Steelers, especially the physical team, I mean, it could play a factor in that. So that's one thing I was worried about. I would have rather played the Browns first and then play the Steelers and then come back home, off of that trip. But it is what it is. We got to face who's in front of us.
I haven't looked at this in a long time, but there used to be a betting line where it was if a team plays the AFC North that next week, don't expect your team to score a lot of points, expect the game to kind of be a little bit ugly.
Yeah.
And it's just because of obviously the physicality of what's happening in the AFC North. I don't know if that betting odds still is a thing. But it was this weird, how you watch sport shows and somebody says something weird and you research it and you're like, I'm putting that in memory, but I don't really know all the specific details. So it was one of those things. And even when I do the Steelers schedule, the way that I do my scheduling is I don't care who's the team we're playing. I care about who the team we just played was. And then I figure out how I think we're going to be ready to go against the other team. So if we play the Ravens on a Sunday night, and then you want us to come back and play somebody that's pretty finesse, like the Miami Dolphins on offense on a Sunday afternoon, I'm concerned. Yeah. Because they're going to be moving and running and doing all the things. And my team might not be ready for that.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good way to think about it. I never really thought about it like that. I always just look at who's in front of us and kind of, obviously look at key position matchups. And because I do believe that the NFL, I think any level of football, I think it's all about matchups. It's just like basketball. There's matchups within these 22 players that are on the field that you got to figure out how to exploit, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. Sometimes it does. You got to know how, but you could also have a better matchup on your side, but if you don't know how to use it and exploit that matchup, then it really doesn't matter. So, hey, that's kind of how I think about it, but I never think about that tight. That's actually going a little deeper. So that makes sense.
When I release my Steelers thing, what I do, there's two things I do that I've never seen people do. I will look at, like I said, who my team recently just played and get ready. Yeah. But then I will look at who the other team just played. Okay. Because that matters too, right? If, for example, last year, if a team had just played the Eagles, and I know that defensive line is leaning on that offensive line all game, and I know that they want to run the ball, and I know, I think about that for the next week, because I'm like, they just went through the gauntlet of crap. Are they going to be ready to go on Thursday night? So anyways, that's how I look at it. I always look at who the team played before they play my team, because I think that matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out Delton in the building. Yogi, I see you, man. Shout out to y'all. Purple Diamond was good, man. I see you, man. Let's go, everybody, man. Barber fade you up. I seen you in the building. I think you said you're driving, but you're listening. My boy Delt, man. Jay Taylor was good. Everybody is sleeping on JJ. We'll see, man. Hey, I ain't sleeping. Shout out Jonathan Jules. Shout out to you in the building. Skull Vikes, I see you in the building. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in tonight, man. This is a great one. Steve, what's good? Let's go, man. We got a packed house. Let's go. Y'all make sure y'all keep hitting the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button, man, so we can get the community over here to show some love to Really Flawed, man. I got to say, hey, that series, that 32-team series is actually flawless. You know how? I don't know where the name's coming from, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Angelo. So I got to ask you too, like, all right, so your opinion. I want you to keep it honest with us, right? Like, even though you're over here in
you
Purple Gang
lie?
Nation, you feel me? You over here in the nation, the purple, you know. But I want you to be honest. NFC North, like, what do you feel about it? Who do you believe is going to be number one, and why? You know, and then we can talk. If it ain't the Vikings, then we get to that. But what do you really think is going to happen?
I think there's some interesting things happening in the NFC North. So if you were asking me today, how would I rank the NFC North? I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say this. I would actually put the Green Bay Packers first. I would put the Vikings, and I would put the Vikings second, and I would put the Lions third and the Bears fourth. But I think the reason why is because when I dissect the team, I have to go by experience and what I've seen, not what I think somebody can do. For example, I think JJ McCarthy is a great pickup for the Vikings. I think eventually JJ McCarthy might be a stud. I think he might be amazing. I think the reality of anybody playing quarterback is going to take him a minute. So whether it's taking him a minute, it's going to be 6 games, 3 games, 14 games, right? I don't really know, because at the end of the day, he's coming off of an injury, and anybody who's ever injured anything in life, you know how hard that is. And you know, every step you take, you're kind of like, oh, can we do it? Can we do it? Right. And he's got to go through training camp, and training camp is brutal for anybody. And now he has an injured knee that he needs to just feel comfortable with that knee. Right. Then the season's going to start. It's going to be his first time getting hit ever in the NFL. Will probably be game 1 unless they play him in the preseason. So I think, and I always think too, that fans hold such high expectations of players sometimes that we are disappointed when they don't immediately meet our expectations. And I don't think that's fair. Kind of like the draft. You watch the draft and you're like, God, this draft sucks. But then in 2 years, you're like, man, that draft was fantastic. Yeah. Y'all see all those guys we got? And so that's how I feel like with players, right? And so I think JJ McCarthy will be fine eventually. I don't know how he's going to be the start, and that makes me a little bit nervous. And I think in the NFC North, you need to win games. You're gonna have to win games.
You're gonna have to win games.
And then when I look at the schedule and I look at how the schedule is broken down, I think the Packers are able to start off a little bit easier. And if the Packers start off easier and they get kind of I'm going to say easy wins. I don't mean the teams they're playing are easy. I just mean if you can bank some wins, it helps you as you continue to move through. And so that's something I was looking at, because I'm looking at the Packers schedule and I'm kind of like, if I had a choice, I want this schedule and I want this schedule and I want this quarterback that I know has played in this league that I've seen what he could do. I'm not saying Jordan Love is like top 5 quarterback of all time or anything, but I mean, I know what he can do. And so, they feel stable to me. Let me say that. They feel stable. Gotcha. I don't have as many questions about them. Okay. And then when I look at the Vikings, I'm like, okay, I know what the Vikings can do. I know that defense is going to be fantastic. And I know I know the weapons you have on offense. Obviously, everybody does. But I don't know what the quarterback's going to do. And because he's going to touch the ball in every single possession, I don't know what his development is going to look like. I just don't know. And so, but I think they have enough to carry them. And so that's why for me, I'm like, if JJ McCarthy comes out game 1, he's superstar and he has it all figured out, great. Fantastic. Right. Probably not going to happen because I don't know if it's ever happened to any quarterback. I don't even think Jaden Daniels last year came out perfect in game 1. Yeah, for sure. So again, if he figures it out, and then like I said, if you look at the teams that he's got to play to kind of start, he gets to play 3 games. Now he has to go overseas. Now he has to play AFC North defenses. They're going to throw anything at him that they can at the kitchen sink. He might be great, or he might not. He might not be great. Doesn't mean he sucks. It just means it's going to take him a little bit of time. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so that's what I feel about that. And then when I go to the Detroit Lions, I think they're going to miss their coaches. I just think they're going to miss their coaches. I don't trust Jared Goff at all. I just don't trust. I don't trust him. I can't. Like, so I just don't. And then the Bears are the Bears, and I think they'll figure it out? Maybe, because again, that defense is going to be solid. I think, one thing about the Bears, they're going to have a solid defense. Now, they shored up that offensive line. They did some things that I think were great. However, I'm going to say this here, and I usually say this all the time on my channel. Whenever things start to leak about players, 8 times out of 10, those leaks are coming from inside an organization. Most times. That stuff that's coming out with Caleb Williams right now, something is going on in that organization. Where there's smoke, there's always fire.
Right. When you heard, he wanted to be a Viking. Yeah, he wanted to be a Viking.
See, and so and why would anybody leak? Why are we talking about this right now? Yeah. Why is this a thing right now? Why are we choosing right this second to talk about that? Something about that. I don't know. I don't know. I've been around.
And it's crazy. We had a conversation about it. It's weird, not for us, but for him, only because he has to face that music too. At the end of the day, you can have a teammate, just say his wide receivers or could be looking at him now, regardless, even if he apologizes and says, man, it is what it is. I'm here now. Man, I love this organization. I don't think it's not going to feel genuine. People are always going to look and be like, bro, you didn't really want to be here. Your father didn't want you here. You just dealing with it. You know what I mean? You're just going with the flow at this point. Obviously as a competitor, I think he's going to go out there and he's obviously going to try to play and try to win, which you should, but he's still going to have to face the music. And I don't think it's a good thing for the Bears. I think it may affect them. It may affect them, hey, man. I mean, you look at last year, now that you can think about it too, think about all the things that came out last year with DJ Moore, all the drama of him, just kind of walking off on 3rd down and looking at all the all the screenshots of how DJ Moore looking at Caleb Williams and just bro, this dude is trash, bro. They even walked past the coach and told him to put Tyler Badgett in, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. And I think the other thing is I don't know. Something about that just seems off. Sometimes you just feel like something's not right. Yeah. That's how it feels for me. I'm this feels, something feels off. So I just don't trust them. And so I don't trust them as an organization either, but that's a different conversation because they just do things where I'm like, what? Anyways. So that's how I feel about that. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think the other interesting thing is, I think you guys play the Falcons. Mm-hmm. And then I think you play the Bengals before you play us. And then I think it's us and the Browns. All of those teams have really good defenses. That's concerning. Yeah. And they all usually do well stopping the run. So if you are a team that does well stopping the run, guess what? That means your quarterback's going to have to go out there and win you the game. Yeah. Are we ready for that week 2?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. A lot of Vikings fans believe in JJ McCarthy. Now, there's one thing about believing and then really talking about the history and the actual numbers to prove if a rookie quarterback comes in and kind of does this, that, and the third. Yeah. I will say this. It feels a little different with us, and there's a couple reasons of, based off of evidence is where we were able to elevate every quarterback that's been in the building so far with Kevin O'Connell. So it makes me feel confident because it's not just a situation where we have a new head coach and we got this rookie quarterback and he's coming in and we just got to see what happens. I think we've seen Sam Darnold reach a new high. He went from a $10 million quarterback to a $40 million quarterback. I know that just because of being in the right position, being in the right situation in Minnesota. We got Josh Dobbs, Kirk Cousins. I mean, even Nick Mullins was doing his thing. I mean, it's just any quarterback that played. I just think our system now, obviously JJ's still young though. So that there's something to be said there. He's young. He's not going to know what to expect. I mean, it's going to be a lot thrown at him, like you said, from the beginning. So we just got to see how it plays out.
I think like it's funny because like and this is why I like talking sports though, because like a lot of things can be true at the same time and
Mhm.
still. And so I think that JJ McCarthy was the right pick. I think JJ McCarthy is going to be fine. I think like all of those things. I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Like I think the Vikings got them one when they got JJ McCarthy. Like that's how I feel about him. I think he's going
Yeah.
to be fine. I think when he's going to be that is going to be interesting to see, because I
Mhm.
think the other thing is now going back to me watching him in college, he didn't have to do a lot in college because he had the best offensive line
Mhm.
and they could run the ball like nobody's business.
Right.
And that was their bread and butter. I think one game they literally ran the ball like 20 times in a row. He never threw a pass.
Yeah.
So,
No.
so it's like my point is like I think when you go from college to the NFL, that's a huge jump.
Mhm.
Then you get injured, and again I feel a certain way about injuries. It just takes people a minute just to kind of get ready. And
Right.
now you're going to be asked to do something with the Vikings that you've never been asked to do.
Yeah.
Never. Now, does he have great receivers? Yes. Does he have, you know what I mean? Yes. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still like that's not his game. And quite frankly, it's never been his game.
Right.
And so that's for me, I'm like, you're going from college to the NFL. The game is changing. Obviously, the game is faster and all those things. But then you as a player, you're going to be asked to do something completely different in the NFL than you were ever asked to do at college, because the bread and butter was y'all's ability to literally line it up and go in between the tackles and run the freaking football.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So anyway, so that's how I feel about it. But do I think he's the right guy? Yeah. Do I think he's going to be fine? Yeah. I just don't know when that will be.
Shout out Jules. He said, heard he's having a kid in September. Absolutely. So him and his fiance did announce that they are expecting, and
That's awesome.
It is coming in September. And I said, the selfish side of me, and nothing against them, but the selfish side, she'll go into labor like the day of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And JJ McCarthy will have to be at the hospital, which he should. You feel me? Which he should.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, hey, you better not miss the game. You got to be there for that. But that just our luck as fans, that's what will happen. We will be going into week 1 with Sam Howell being the quarterback. You know what I mean? Because that's just how the universe works for us. It's gonna be like, you know what? I know everybody's been anticipating seeing number 9 be out there, but you gotta wait one more week, just one more week. I mean, we'll roll out with Sam Howell this week 1.
That's so funny.
For sure.
That's how things happen with me. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think he'll be fine. I just think it's gonna take him a minute, and I think as fans, that should be okay. You know what I mean? Like that should be fine. But we're like, it's week 1. He's supposed to be perfect every pass ever. And it's like, no.
Yeah, the reality is like, and I try to spread this message too on the channel, like, because I'm one of the biggest JJ McCarthy fans, because again, like you said, I think he is the right guy for the Minnesota Vikings. I really do. And, but I still spread the message too. Like, it's like one of those deals where it's like, hey, there's going to be adversity that's going to be faced, and we got to make sure as fans, we sit back and we're patient with it, because yes, there is nothing, but what makes it hard is that all the hype he gets, that's why the expectations are set through the roof. So like the first interception he throws, you're going to have the people that don't like him. See, I told you, you know what I mean?
Right,
like it's just going to be, see, I told you. Right. So it's one of those deals where I don't know. It's going to be fun to be a Vikings fan. I'd say that, you know what I mean? When the season starts, there's going to be a war, some type of civil war, because there always is with quarterbacks, I feel like. And that goes with any fan base. Like I've been in the Chiefs realm and see some of their fans talking about, like, if Patrick Mahomes has a bad game, like in the Super Bowl, some of their, like, there's always going to be the group. There's always going to be the group. Trust me.
I know 31 teams that will take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs' hands if they're not interested.
Yeah, for sure. I would.
I know 31 teams. Okay.
31. I'm telling you, for sure.
That's crazy.
Shout out Brian Thompson. I see you in the building. Purple Papa, let's go. I see you in the building too, man. Shout out everybody in the building. So that's cool. So you at least got us as number 2.
Yeah. If I, and again, like this is before I do like my research and before I decide the order of the videos, but just off of like what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. And then obviously I cheated a little bit and I know the schedule because I watched you all go through the schedule.
Yeah.
And some of the things I was thinking when you were all going through the schedule, I was just kind of like, this kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But when I look at the Green Bay Packers schedule, I'm just kind of like, if I had a choice,
yeah,
I kind of want this.
There's kind of setup. There's a setup a little easier. We're looking at it now in late May. Looking at it
right,
now.
exactly. Right, we know nothing. I mean, June 1st, designation's coming. We have no idea what's happening.
Right,
but and that's kind of the fun of it. That's why I like having a channel too. Is like putting it on record and being like, did I really say that back then?
Yeah, did I say that back in June? God damn.
Like that don't make no damn sense. Like, why did I even say that? So
hey, that is the great thing about having a channel though, is putting it on wax. You know what I mean? You get to put it on wax. So anytime people like, hey, I remember when you said, yup, hey, just scroll back, you'll see it. I said that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, right or wrong, fuck it, we gotta say it. You know what I mean?
Period.
Gotta say it. I mean, I've been wrong a lot, I've been right a lot. That's just part of, I think it's just part of doing this and having a voice and just actually being expressive about it, getting vocal, shall I say, you know? So
there it is.
It's one of those things. I love it though. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Steve said, really flawed is dialed in. Oh, she's always dialed in. Like, that's a fact. She's dialed in. Y'all must have thought like I was bringing her on and it was just going to be ABC 1, 2, 3 type of talk. Nah, she really be going. Like, I'm telling you. Hey, it's funny when after she reached out to me and I went on her show and was like, you know, obviously just, you know, checking the temperature. Like, I had to check the temperature. I'm like, yo, like, bro, I got to make sure I go on there and kind of like do my homework a little bit. Like, I can't just be looking like no idiot on here, because she gonna ask the questions and she knows the answers to the questions that she's gonna ask me too, and see what I say. I felt like I was being tested for sure.
You know what's funny is, so there's a couple of things that make me so happy, just like because I'm a woman that's talking football, right? It's like very rare and all the things. And how I show up to spaces, I have opinions, and I'm going to show up how I'm going to show up.
Real.
The things I love the most are when people are like, I knew I was going to have to show up ready to go because you were going to be ready to go. And then when people say, I was waiting for your opinion because I was thinking da-da-da. And I'm like, it's just something about that, because, you know, I've watched a ton of football, and the things that I know that in my mind, I never knew they were a thing until I start talking about them. And I'm like, oh, you don't see it that way? Oh, okay. How do you see it? So it's fun. No, and I always feel honored when people are like, oh my God, I had to actually prepare for this.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Like, I felt like I had to prepare. I'm gonna tell you right now. So after I went and did my homework on you, I was like, yeah, I gotta prepare. Yep. We're gonna have a real conversation here. It's gonna be a real football conversation for sure.
It was good though. Like, I felt like it was just a conversation.
It was really good. Like, no, I had so much fun. It was really good. Like, all the episodes are good. I've watched a couple of them already too. Like, so I mean, they're great. I can't wait.
One of them I will never admit to what team this is, but one of them we had he started going off the rails. He goes, hold on, I'm not prepared for this. Give me a second. Yeah. And so he was like, I need to do just a little bit of research because the thing, like, and I was like, okay, because I do it too. Like, before they come on, like, I already know who got picked. I already know who the free agents are. I already know what you're talking about on your channel. I already know. So it's like, I'm ready.
You're ready. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, no, great job. Keep doing it too, just like that. Still nice to see a female doing this, especially a sister. And no, that's a fact, Brian, for sure. For sure. Shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? She's doing it. Let's go. Hey, facts. So let's talk about your Steelers really quick, going up against. Let's flop it a little bit. First of all, are you confident in your Steelers? I mean, I'll just let you kind of talk about your Steelers for a minute. Are you confident in your Steelers this year? I know they don't have a quarterback. I know we talked about that. No quarterback there, so it might be looking a little shady there. But even without a quarterback, though, you guys still always find a way to, it seems like, get that 8 games. I don't know what it is. Mike Tomlin just, I would love them 8
solid 9.
games.
Listen, we're solid 9.
Facts. Without a quarterback, shit, y'all can put a run the Wildcat all season. It don't matter. You know, you're going to win.
We ain't shit, but we're going to win 9 games.
I'm telling you, you're going to win 9 games. That's a fact. I don't give a damn. So, I mean, but how do you feel this year going into it? Like, do you think your Steelers actually have a chance to be competitive? I mean, obviously, are we going to call them contenders, or are we just going to say they'll be competitive?
fuck no. We're not.
Okay,
let's go. Okay?
Let's go. I was waiting to get the curse up out of her.
No.
You know what I mean? We needed that.
No, we are absolutely not contenders. And I've said this in every single Steelers video I made since the end of last year. Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in a silent rebuild. Okay. And what I mean by that is if you go look at our contracts, we have a slew of players that are on 1-year deals, and all of our big contracts, their deals are going to end in 2 years. So what that tells me is, except for DJ Metcalf, but he's DJ Metcalf, like whatever. But what that tells me is that we're not making any long-term contracts. We're not doing anything long-term. You send away George Pickens, you get more draft picks. I think as it stands right now, we have like 12 draft picks next year already. The season hasn't even started. That screams rebuild. That is a rebuild in the NFL, is when you don't have a lot of big time contracts that are longer than 2 years. We don't. Having said that, I think what happens with the Steelers is because we've been a pillar of consistency for so long, the expectation is to win games. Now, how we're going to win those games, who we're going to beat, all of those things, I have no clue. Okay. It's going to be like where all the teams we're supposed to lose to, we will beat them. That's just how it's going to go. And we're probably going to lose to like the Patriots and like some randoms, because that's what we do. We're going to lose to the Bears, you know, like we're going to lose to the randoms, and we're going to beat the teams that we shouldn't, that we have no business beating. And, you know, at the end of the year, we're going to be like, oh, are we going to be in the playoffs or not? And then who are we going to lose our first game to? That's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah. The only thing that I rest my head on at night, and that's very dramatic, but just go with me here, is this year I get to see the draft picks from 3 years ago and from 2 years ago to see if they were what we thought they were, because those are going, we let go of guys so that those guys can now step in because it's now their turn. Yeah. So if the Steelers drafted well, and if they have, you know, good players, we'll be fine. Do I think we're going to the Super Bowl? Fuck no. Do I think we're going to win the AFC North? Absolutely fucking not. Like unless Joe Burrow
playoffs.
Maybe just because we'll win. You know what I mean?
Back into there.
Yeah, but like I mean, Joe Burrow, like we're not better than the Cincinnati Bengals on offense. We're just not. Yeah. Even if we're better than them on defense, the gap between our offense and their offense
is big.
Is huge. Okay. And then they have Lamar Jackson. Okay. So like the Ravens offense is really, really good, and they have Derrick Henry. So I mean, whatever. But so yeah, that's my take. But then the thing about the Steelers, when you go look at the other divisions in the AFC, it's kind of like the AFC West, right? With the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and Denver, pretty solid. But the AFC East, you got the Bills, but then you have like the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets. You know what I mean? And then you have the AFC South. You have the Texans, cool, but then you like have the Colts, and then you have the Titans, and then so it's in Jacksonville. So it's kind of like I like our chances with those guys. Yeah.
So they want to ask, how do you feel about the Vikings matchup? You know, I mean, obviously,
the Steelers matchup.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, Vikings Steelers matchup. Like, do you see a chance? You see a chance of you guys being able to challenge us?
Absolutely, because we're going to be in every game. Okay. The Steelers are like, what is something that's hard to kill? Like a fly. You know, a fly, when the fly falls on you and you think you have it, it flies away. And then when you finally get it, you've worked so damn hard to kill the fly that you killed the fly and you won. But now next week you have to play, and then you lose to the next week because I wasted so much energy trying to kill this fly. That's who the Steelers are.
Love that analogy.
That is exactly who we are. Okay. So we're going to give you hell. We're going to give you hell for 60 minutes. Now, if we win, I don't know. But you might, what is that? You might win the game, but you might lose the war, right? You might.
Which is something that we kind of touched on, like when I was talking about how physical the game is going to be. Like, even if you come out with the win, speaking from the Viking standpoint, we get the win, but you know, our team is black and blue bruised, man, because it's going to be that type of football game as far as physicality goes. So good point.
Yeah, and the Steelers usually don't get blown out. You know, we also don't blow anybody out, but we don't usually get blown out. like I said, we do the little things right. You know, we're going to make our field goals. So that means your team always has to score. We're going, you know what I mean? Like we do like those little things right. We might get like a special teams turnover, which obviously impacts the game just because like no one usually gets those. And then here comes the Steelers random. I think we had like 6 or 7 last season. Like that's stupid, right? Like it's like who gets that? You know, so we're not going to do anything that's going to be like, that team's great. We're going to do all those annoying things that are going to be like, why are we not beating these guys by 30?
Right. Yeah.
They have 1 first down.
Exactly. I mean, we talk about, so there was a game, drop it in the chat, y'all, to remind me, but it was, and you might even remember, it was Thursday night. We wore color rush jerseys. It was, it might've been 2022, I believe, or maybe 2022, 2021. But we were blowing you guys out. This was, matter of fact, this was Ben Roethlisberger's like Chase Claypool game.
The comeback.
Yeah, Chase Claypool celebrating, you know, kind of let the clock run. But we were kicking y'all ass up and down the field. Listen, and first of all, primetime games in the Minnesota Vikings, from me being a fan, from what I just, for some reason, I love everything about it, but I hate my team during them because I always feel like we just... man, like it's just never, I don't know. You know what I mean? Prime time and Vikings just don't go together as much as we love them. And that game though felt different because we came out, we was putting the belt to ass the whole game. I think we went up by like, 3 touchdowns.
It was pretty much a blowout, right?
It was a blowout.
Yeah.
It was a blowout. But then it wasn't a blowout. It was a blowout until it wasn't a damn blowout. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, is this shit really about to happen right now? Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, what in the world? And, you know, it just goes back to say, you guys always find a way. And I feel like the Steelers have always been like that, regardless of who they play. Like, it's always been like that, you know, where it's just like, you guys just always find a way to be in the race, all overall, like when it comes to the end of the season, being in that conversation of wild card or clinching a playoff spot. You know, you're never like, and it's almost, the Vikings are kind of like that. They're kind of similar. Like, believe it or not, the Steelers and Vikings are kind of similar because we're never like that bad team where we're gonna pick, we're gonna have the number 3 pick in the draft just because we suck that bad, or the number 2 or number 5, whatever. We're always gonna pick in the 20s. You know, maybe late teens, if anything. And it's one of those deals where it's almost not as, it's really not a good. We have conversations about this, right? Where if your team needs a quarterback, or you just need that generational talent and you kind of want to get that player, teams like the Steelers and Vikings, we always get the shit into the stick because we never suck bad enough to be able to get in position to get that said player. But we're never good enough to be able to celebrate just for being successful and getting the ultimate goal, even if you're just making it to the NFC or the AFC championship game. You know what I mean? It's just one of those deals where, and I would hate to get there and lose. Obviously, you want to win. You make it that far, you're like,
well, let me stop you though. I mean, listen. I've got to see my team win 2 Super Bowls.
You got some Super Bowls.
I've gotten to see my team go to the Super Bowl. I've seen my team win 2 Super Bowls. I've seen my team go to the Super Bowl. I've seen us go to the AFC Championship game. So I've had all of those things. The one thing
I guess we not similar, goddamn it. I tried chat. We not similar. They got 7 of them motherfuckers.
I'm just saying. We have 6. We have 6. The 7 rings, the 7 will come when I'm, 65 at this point.
Damn.
But I say the Steelers are the best average team in the NFL. Like we can't compete with the good teams. We're better than the bad teams, but we're the best average. We're the best average can buy, like the best, the best. And so I listen, I'm a Texas fan. And so when I listen to Texas radio, there's a guy, Texas radio, it's not Texas radio, but there's a guy who always says, how like you don't marry like the finest person that you've ever dated. You marry the person that's like consistent and stable and motivates you and all those things. He's like, that's what I think the Steelers are. And when he said that was years ago, and I was like, I agree.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Like, that's exactly who we are. So we're just, the best average team around town. So
yeah, think about this. The Vikings, I believe, And y'all could drop it in the chat too, because I always see these things and I know these things, but I'm just not thinking specifically right now. I can't really remember specifically where we are, but I think we're like top 3 in winning percentage, like overall, like the most winningest franchise as far as winning
Love that.
football games.
Yeah.
Like we win football games. That's the thing. We just don't win the ones that we need to damn win. You know what I mean? Like we win a lot. We just don't win the ones that we need to win. Man, every time it comes down to, hey, we got to win this game to get to the next level, we shit the bed, and it's pissing me off. Now that's where, you know, the JJ McCarthy thing comes in, where I feel like, you know, he's a winner regardless of, regardless of his situation, right? Like the offense they were running, they had offensive line, they had a mean defense. I want to touch on this really quick because you were talking about it earlier. Was you know, our team was kind of, it seems like they're trying to mold that this season when it came to free agency. We revamped the whole offensive line pretty much. We brought in a Pro Bowl center, and we brought in a right guard too that also is really good in Will Fries. So and then you think about the running back, bringing in Jordan Mason, already having Aaron Jones, and boosting up the defensive line as well. And I said this a while ago, this was last year going into the draft process with JJ McCarthy. I said, if the Vikings were smart, they would look at Michigan and how they're running, how they do things. And you should take some notes, and you should mold your team. If you're going to draft JJ McCarthy, mold your team around that winning formula, because that formula can still win. That formula that they did can win in the NFL. And a prime example is the 49ers. Now the 49ers weren't able to get over the hump, but they made it to the Super Bowl with the Brock Purdy. Because why? Because they were able to run the ball, the offensive line played great, and the defense was playing great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, you don't really need your quarterback in today's NFL to throw 4,000 yards. And Jalen Hurts is a prime example.
That's why I think breaking news, I think the NFL quarterback is the most overrated need in the NFL, because I feel like there's 11 guys on the field. And if I am paying one guy $55 million and he has so much percentage of my salary, but he never plays offense, or he never plays defense. He never, like, why do I just want to get me a guy who won't turn the ball over, who can run some plays, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Maybe scramble every now and again and get me a first down. Like, I don't need a world beater at quarterback. Now, if I have one, that's fine. But like, I want to ask him, can he take $40 million a year so that I can have that extra 15, about to be extra $20 million a year to like do something else? I just think we spend so much money on quarterbacks that I'm like, I don't really know if that's the answer. So it'll be interesting to see what Philly does once all of their guys come up for contract.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough decision. They're gonna have some hard decisions to make.
Right. And again, like, that's a way to do it too, right? You can pay your quarterback great and then go draft the best guys in college football and pay them, you know, to come dominate. Okay, cool. That's a great plan. Yeah. But, you know, I'm just kind of curious to see. I just think we spend so much time, effort, and energy talking about the quarterback. And I just don't believe it. I don't know if I believe that they're the end all be all. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll say this. I agree with you, but then I'll push back on, there's a select few that I believe make the difference. Like, for example, Patrick Mahomes. I would say Josh Allen. I would say Lamar Jackson. Even though they haven't got over the hump, I think if you take Lamar off of that team is going to look totally different. I mean, even though he doesn't play defense, just the team in general is just they're not going to be the same Ravens. But
here's my pushback. And again, this is going to come out all kinds of wrong, so just bear with me. Is Josh Allen that great if he can't beat Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, but what about, can we have that same conversation with Lamar Jackson? Right?
I was going to say the same thing about him too. So that's my thing. So like, if you are costing me $55-60 million, okay? Yeah. And there's a guy that you can't beat, in my opinion, you might be a waste of money, because what I can do is go take that money and go build my defensive line
the
that
guys
now
that rush
exactly see what I'm saying, to nullify you. So if I can't beat you, if I can't go find somebody that's better than you, let me work around that. Let me go see if I can build the defense line. Now, this will never be proven. They're never going to get rid of Josh Allen. They never should get rid of Josh. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, that's not like, I know some people will listen to this and be like, oh my God. But think about what I'm saying here. If you cannot beat Patrick Mahomes in your current form, how can you fix that? Mm-hmm. You got to do something different. And what you got to do is you got to go fill that defensive line. And you know what I'm saying? But teams don't think like that. They're like, we can't beat Patrick Mahomes. We'll just go get another quarterback. And it's like, is that the formula? Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a great conversation to have when you think about quarterbacks. Like, if we really want to dig deep into, like, obviously they're important, right?
Right.
Like,
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely important. We're not saying that you can just bring any Joe. You can't just bring Nathan Peterman out there and think right? Like, for sure, that's not the case. But again, for example, like a Brock Purdy, we'll use him as the example right now, in my opinion, based off of him just signing that mega contract of what, 56 million or something. 50, I think crazy. Something crazy, right? Yeah. And it's like, man, like, are you going to be able to, now that you tied that money to him, is he enough as the quarterback, enough to put your team in position to be competitive every year? Because now you already see they're losing player. They're not able to bring you know what I mean? Like, now they're not able to keep certain stars that they're going to have, and these contracts are going to come up. And it's like, now you got to depend on Brock Purdy and then your draft. Like, are you able to draft players that can come in right away? Because that window is closing. I think their window's closed. I think it was a horrible decision to tie that money into Brock Purdy, because I feel like they had their window the past 3 years and they weren't able to capitalize on it. You know, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that Brock Purdy hurt his elbow in that game against the Eagles. Because that was that the championship? I think that was the NFC Championship game.
That was that was a disaster.
That was a disaster.
The wheels were literally falling off, like literally, like yeah.
So I just think that window closed, and this was bad timing to tie all that money into Brock Purdy, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I always say. I think the way that we're conditioned to look at football is competent, like Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. It's actually, that's not it. It's actually Patrick Mahomes against the Baltimore Ravens defense and Lamar Jackson against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And if you break it down like that, I think we would make different decisions because, again, I'm not, like you said, I'm not saying go get like Joe Schmo to go play quarterback. I mean, I want the guy to be decent. I don't want him to turn the ball over. But what if I could go spread that extra $25 million amongst two players?
Hey, but you know, it comes back to the NFL lets you know with these moves that they make that it is a business. And you know what? Quarterback is it's like a band, and the quarterback is the lead singer. You know what I mean? He's the one that's going, hey, they look at the quarterback like, hey, he's the one that's going to make fans mostly are going to make the fans come put their behinds in these seats. So we need to make sure we got us a good one. You know what I mean? See, everything.
I think you're right in theory, but I think the Steelers have disproven that. The Steelers tickets have been sold out for the past. Like, you can't.
Steelers are a little deep, but you also got to admit too, Steelers fan base is deep.
True.
Y'all are deep.
But I'm wondering though, what it would look like if the San Francisco did it, or what it would look like if Dallas did. I guess my point is like enough people. It's a theory, right? But it's like sometimes we always say like, let's do something different. And no one ever does anything different. And I'm like, what if we just built a team differently? The Rams did it that one year, and they're like, we don't care about these draft picks.
Yeah,
give us the players.
F the picks. You know that. Hey, you know another team that did that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And
it won him, and it won. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like, what are we doing, people? Like, anyways, we always want to do the thing we think everybody else is doing. Like, now the new thing is everybody wants to be the Eagles, right? Now everyone's trying to load up their defensive line and do that. Great. Yep. Yeah, it's great. I got it. But like, who's y'all Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, it's a copycat league. I mean, it's been a copycat league forever, and it is definitely a copycat league. Whoever's at the top, teams are trying to, replicate that. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look at it. Once somebody unlocks the code, somebody cracks the code, you're like, shit, all right, that's the formula. Let's try to replicate it.
Let's try it.
But everybody can't. You know what I mean?
Everybody can't. Yeah.
You could try, but
It's like when people go vegan. I'm like, good on you for going vegan. It's not going to work for me.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I would like a steak, please.
Please. But I love, going back to my team is I love where we sit right now with the quarterback like JJ McCarthy, because I do like his leadership skills. I think a lot of it is more than just what his ability. I just think it's more of how he carries himself as a leader. He's a natural leader. And I see that. You can see that on the field. Even in Michigan, you saw how the teammates rallied around him. Like he was able to command that huddle, command that team. And his head coach came out and said it 1,000 times and still talks about it to this day. Harbaugh, still praises the way that JJ McCarthy carries himself. And not only that, the way he studies the game. You know what I mean? Like he studies the game like no other. Even Vikings players now are like, yo, this kid is with there was a Cam Bynum interview that came out recently, even though he's on the Colts now. And he's like, yo, I'm not going to call JJ weird. I'm just saying he's different. He's like, man, this man was walking around. He's like, this man had a season-ending injury, but yet he was in the building every single day with us. And not only that, he was coming up to me, asking me in November what defense we're running, why did we do this and do that? And he's like, yo, what's up?
You don't have to do any of this.
You don't have to do any of this.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? He's like, I'm just wired like that. He wants to know, like another, I don't know if you've heard this. He wrote a list of all the star players of I think every team we were about to play. And he has a list of the star players, and he went and studied all of those players during this process too, that he's been injured. And it's like a hit list, you know what I mean? Like studying all their tendencies. So things like that get me excited about the kid.
Well, what you're saying is he loves football.
He loves it.
He likes football. He's dialed in and he loves football. And you don't see that very often because these people are making a ton of money and they don't have to like the sport. They just need to go out there and be good at it and they're fine. Right. And good for him. That's why I always say, I don't think they got the wrong guy. I think he's the right guy. I think he's actually the right guy for the right moment. Yeah. I just hope that I just hope the fans are able to show him a little bit of grace and give him a little bit, allow him to, to develop into it and, work the game a little bit. He's going to have a bad game. Prepare yourself right now. He's going to have a bad game. We don't know when, but it's going to happen.
Probably
it's
a couple.
Okay.
Probably a couple.
Right. Right. It's okay.
It's okay. It definitely is.
So, yeah,
it's okay. So when it comes to the AFC North, who do you believe is the biggest threat in the AFC North? Not only for the NFC North, but the biggest threat just, for the whole league. Like where do you have your ranks at in the AFC North? Where do you see everything falling?
Yeah, it's the Ravens. It's the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. Okay. So that's interesting. I want to, talk about that with the Bengals. Because the Bengals aren't coming off one of their greatest seasons. I mean, but I feel like you feel. I actually feel like the Bengals are going to be good this year. I think Joe Burrow is actually about to get back to being Joe Burr this year because he's fully healthy now. He was dealing with a lot of knick-knacky things the past 2 seasons, and things just were kind of not in the right order. And I feel like this year they're going in fully focused and he's back full 100%. So I kind of worry about the Bengals. I have us dropping that game.
I could be wrong. Somebody will fact check me if I'm really wrong. I think the Bengals offense last year was top 10 or top 5.
I know they started playing good at the end of the season.
Yeah. So even
they could have made the playoffs. Yeah.
Yes. Even his they have so many weapons on offense. So even bad, I mean, I think at some point they were averaging 35, 40 points a game. Their defense just couldn't stop a freaking nosebleed. Literally, they were awful. And yes, they did have a lot of injuries and all the things. So I got it. I'm not sitting here saying they just sucked because. So they had a lot of injuries, but that offense, any team that has an offense that literally can score at any moment. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people would say Jamar Chase is the best, receiver in the NFL. Obviously there's JJ, so there's no disrespect to him, but they played together. I mean, so it's that's really JJ's a compliment.
JJ's better.
Yeah, cool. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine with me. But then you have Higgins, that offense just goes. It just goes and it flows. And I think JJ McCarthy can be like a Joe Burrow eventually. I think that's what he should aspire to be, because I think they're very similar in the way that they kind of move through size wise and things like that. Something about that Bengals offense, I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you, because if you score too fast, they don't mind. They'll just come back and score again. So it's like, sometimes last year people started playing the Bengals and they were like, even if we score, can we wait so that we don't bring that offense back on the field? Because it's just like, their offense is moving and they've all gotten paid, so I don't know. I think the Bengals will be a tough out, because if their defense lucks up and gets a fumble, or if a receiver bobbles a ball, or, if an offensive lineman false starting and the team starts to move backwards and so the defense gets a stop.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call. I don't know. I mean, I think the Bengals are dangerous. The Ravens are the Ravens. I mean,
yeah. It's just playoffs, like the playoffs with the Ravens. Not even just play, like, I guess just AFC championship game, really, man. I mean, golly, like this.
I don't know what their deal is.
I don't know what
it
is.
They need a sports psychologist.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like they dominate throughout the season, win games they're supposed to win, and it's just like,
I think
you never have a doubt when they're lining up against a team where you're like, yeah, Ravens are going to handle business. Like they handle during the season, but then it gets to the playoffs and it's like, yo, what's up? Like,
I think it's coaching.
To win this game. You think so?
I think it's coaching. Yeah. So the way the Ravens do this thing where their offense is so good that I think their coaches forget that they still have to play offense.
Yeah.
And so like they get to the playoffs and they stop running the ball. And I'm like, why did you get Derrick Henry if you're not going to run the ball? I don't get that. And how many years do you have to do that before it's a coaching issue? That's a coaching problem. Straight up. And at some point it becomes a Lamar Jackson problem, because now Lamar, you also need to be like, what's the play? Yeah. Okay. No. We're going to go ahead and run this one to the right. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you have to be the guy that's like, that's not working. So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Ravens,
that's going to be a tough game for us, the Ravens. We were talking about that.
Is it at home? Where is it at?
It is at home, but I don't think it matters. I just think
because they get to play indoors.
Yeah, they're always just a tough team for anybody.
A tough
really.
out. Yeah.
I think for anybody. I mean, they just challenge anybody. If Lamar Jackson's going to be there, we always question their wide receiving core. It seems like they haven't really had that, like,
because they don't care.
They don't care. But if they were to get like a superstar wide receiver to add, because Lamar Jackson can throw the rock, man. Like people be sleeping on the way he throws that ball. I think he throws the ball nicely, man. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think, like I said, though, I think it's a coaching problem. I think, and you know what's actually funny? Now that I said this, I think the Ravens fans agrees with me. I think that they're not doing Lamar Jackson any favors. I mean, no disrespect to Malachi Starks, but like, did you need him?
Yeah.
Your defense is ranked number 5, like top 5 NFL. Why'd you go get him? Go get you a stud at receiver. First round and second round at this point. Like, what are we doing? I don't know.
There was receivers on the board too. There's receivers on the board for them to get. I don't know.
And you go get another defensive guy.
But I will say this though, right? I think we can agree to this though. Kyle Hamilton, and if Malachi Starks, if he turns out to what he's expected, right? Then it's one of those deals where like, wow, that safety room is.
So the interesting thing is, I'm going to be interested to see who runs out on that field and who actually starts on that team.
Yeah.
They've got to and listen, their defense is phenomenal. Okay. This isn't a knock on their defense by any means, but when you have a phenomenal defense and you didn't lose anybody, why are you continuing to add defenders? Go get a receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. I agree. I think, hey, so the Vikings' easiest out is going to be the Browns. We could agree with that. The Browns are going to be the easiest out, you think, for us when it comes to the AFC North?
It might be the Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers might be the easiest out. Okay, let's go. So do you see the Browns? Do you see any hope in the Browns, even with their quarterback situation? Like, do you think they still possibly could be pretty decent, like a feisty team?
The Browns have a good defense. Nobody is ever going to talk about their defense because they're a circus, and everyone's going to talk about the circus, right? The circus is the offense and whatever they have going on. But the Browns defensively has a very good defense. They have a great tight end. What is his name? Njoku.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tight end.
Giannis.
Right. Like off like so like they have running backs. Like they're not they're if the Browns were in the AFC South, maybe even the AFC East, they would probably be like second or third. So they're not bad. It's just whenever you're with teams that are just really solid, it's harder for you. And I think the Browns, the Browns are just the Browns. Like their defense is going to get probably 2 takeaways a game. Yeah. If you let that defense score, you're going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? So it's like if you take care of business, you'll be fine. But it's like their defense is solid. Their offense, sometimes I'm just like, what was that exactly?
Right.
What was that play call? I don't get it. You have this tight end who's 6'9", it seems like half the time, and you get to the red zone and he doesn't get a single pass. I don't get that.
So real quick too, I know you talked about the Packers and how you feel about them. Yeah. We talked about the Lions. Can you touch on the Bears real quick and how the person felt that you talked to where that representing the Bears and David Njoku. There he is.
Is that David Njoku? Yeah. And like just
I like that guy. He's decent.
It's just solid.
Like, he is solid. Just consistent. Plays good regardless of who the quarterback is. I mean, this motherfucker he gets the shit into the stick, but always makes the best out. Shout out to David. Yeah. That's a fact. But the Bears,
so the Bears are in a little bit of an interesting situation. So I don't think he knows what to think.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think he thinks the offense is going to be better because they have weapons. So you would think they're going to be better. They got that tight end. They got a receiver. They shored up that offensive line during free agency. So they got offensive line. They got they have Caleb Williams. So again, if they put it together and it works, it actually should work. They have an offensive minded coach. Yeah. Like it should work. I just don't trust them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't trust them. I think the fan though is excited to see now that they have a better offensive line because last year it wasn't very good. So this year they were like, okay, we need an offensive line. Check. We fixed that. They went out and got the coach they wanted them to get. Okay, check. Caleb Williams has weapons. Okay, check. So now what are we going to do? Is this going to work, Caleb Williams? Like the time is now. And I agree with that. And that's kind of what he was saying is like, this is the opportunity. I mean, you have everything, we think.
Yeah.
And then again, nobody ever questions that defense. So it's just kind of,
Yeah. I think what irritates me with the Bears the most as a Vikings fan is every season we hear about how they got better. This is their year. Finally, they went crazy in free agency. I feel like they do this all the time, and they've been in position to get quarterbacks as well. Within the last 10 years, they've been able to, they're doing this and doing that at the quarterback position. With the talk about Justin Fields, you're talking about now Mitchell Trubisky is. I mean, that's debatable there. I don't know why they did what they did, but they did, right? They still had opportunity to go up and get any guy they wanted, man. Believe it or not, Patrick Mahomes was in that draft. Deshaun Watson was in that draft. I mean, there was a lot of guys in that draft that they decided to skip on and go for Mitchell Trubisky. All right?
I can't trust you after that.
Yeah, that might be I don't know. That could almost go down as one of the worst moves in NFL history. I ain't gonna lie to you. But again, it's always something about how they've gotten better, and this is finally about to be their year again. People keep going back to the 85 Bears. Like, bro, that is over with.
That's over. Yeah.
That is over with. Oh, shout out Sarah with the 499. She said, I started my new job. Appreciate you, Sarah.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Let's go, Sarah. Let's go. Sarah, only reason why I'm shouting you out so heavy right now, because I believe this may be your first super chat on the channel now, which doesn't matter, but I'm just saying you've been a member of the channel for super long. So I'm glad to see that you got your job. You're making you some money, and you like, yeah, let me splurge my bag a little bit. Let me drop 5 on R.A. Peasy real quick, man. Let's go. Shout out to Sarah. Love you, girl. Keep doing your thing. That's a fact, man. Shout out to you. Real quick, I want to share this. I meant to do it earlier in the show, and I know we've been going on for about an hour and a half. I just got like 2 more questions, and then
You can ask me whatever you want. We can be here all night.
Let's go. So I want to share this. This is something. Shout out my guy Norse, man. Everybody knows. Let me pull this up on the screen here. We're doing a fundraiser. This is for these plaque. I know the picture looks small, but y'all can see it. I'm actually about to get my hands on it. I can't wait. It should be here. Norse, they should be popping out. I got to check that track, and it should be popping out tomorrow, Monday. I know Monday's a holiday. I should be getting these soon. And I got 3 of them, but we're doing giveaways. $20. You enter to win a draw. It's to enter the drawing, the raffle, and we're going to be doing a drawing. We'll be giving away 3 of these. These are handmade from our boy Norse, man. Shout out Norse, man. He actually puts a ton of time into these, and I'm gonna tell you, they're going towards a good cause. If you don't know, really flawed. My father is fighting cancer. All right, he's fighting throat cancer. So Norse wanted to do something for him. And
Cool.
and this is something that he makes them from scratch. He has this tool, he cuts the wood, and literally it just starts out as just a board. Actually,
That's
I think so. It starts out like that plain board right there that you see, and then it turns into this. He draws the Vikings, burns it, all that, man, just makes it super cool. And the community needs to get involved. So make sure you're still entering. Once I get them, the tracking says tomorrow, he said. Once I get them in my hands, I will be doing a video dedicated to these. I'll be getting some good B-roll. I have them in my hands, so I'll be able to really take some good pictures, take some good B-roll, and do a video on the channel strictly about them so that y'all can see more of the quality and just how super cool they are, man. You know, as a Vikings fan, you should want one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should want one of these. Hey, Skull Mafia tell you he got one, you know what I'm saying, from winning the Mock Madness. He'll tell you. They fire. You should want one. So make sure you tap in, Cash App, Vocal Vike, $ Vocal Vike, $20, or you can super chat. And we're going to be running this for probably like a month. We're going to run it until he rings the bell. So once he rings the bell, I'm going to have Todd on. He should be ringing the bell June. I think the date we have now is June 19th through the 22nd, around that area. That's when he should be ringing the bell. So I can't wait for that day. That's going to be a day to celebrate. And awesome. we'll do the raffle as well. So thank you for that. And we appreciate everybody that's already sent it in, man. We already got like 5 or 6 already. So let's keep it popping, man. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out Sarah. Look at Sarah on there with the green. I see you, Sarah, with the green, man. Let's go. Let's go, Sarah. Shout out to you. Happy for you. Yeah, so oh yeah, Barbara. Hey, look, Barbara, you got a good chance to win you one, man. Fade you up, man. We're gonna have to have Norris put fade you up on the bottom of one of them, man. We got to resend it back to him if you win. Resend it back to him. Have him customize that thing, man. Put a fade on the Viking. Let's go. Not the fade. We gotta put the fade on him. You feel me? So I wanna ask you, like, let's go to college real quick. Because, you know, I did a video. This is something that obviously we talked about on your show, so we don't want to spill the beans too much. But there's a UDFA on our team that I really enjoy, and I feel like he brings value. And we're talking about Mr. Bolden, right? And now that I have you on the channel tonight, though, I just want to, can you kind of talk about why you enjoyed him too? Because I know when I mentioned him and you saw it on the channel, you kind of lit up. Obviously, because you are Texas. For the ones who don't know, Texas football, you know, so go Longhorns, or whatever their slogan is. Hook 'em. Yeah, hook 'em Longhorn. There you go, hook 'em. But talk about Silas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why do you think he's such an interesting prospect, and why the Vikings should be appreciative that he's on our team?
Yeah, so I like Silas because he's dynamic. And I think one of my favorite things about, like, when a team is kind of like figuring out what they need to do for their team is getting players that complement their stars really well. So he's not going to be the #1 receiver ever, or the second, or whatever, but he's going to be the guy that can come in and do what needs to be done. Like the guy that, like, on a random 3rd down, or on a random, like, in around, or on a random thing, we're like, who was that? You know what I mean? Like, like, he's just going to give you something. And I think that is what helps a team get a spark. And he's going to do that. So whether he, you know, is on punt return and he returns something for, you know, 30 yards, or just like those little splash plays that you need, The other thing is he came to Texas, and I don't remember everything I said on our recording, but I know we talked about him. He came to Texas with a stacked, for those of you that don't watch college football, because I know a lot of NFL fans don't watch a lot of college football. Texas has a stacked wide receiver room. They recruited well, like top 5 recruiting class, but whatever, all the accolades. Yeah. And Bolden still decided to be a part of that group. So that lets me know off jump, you're always going to bet on yourself. I respect that. Then he was able to get on the field and make an impact. He was our punt returner. He actually returned a punt against Arizona State in the playoff game. Like he just did. We had a fumble one time and he was just there. We called him our culture guy. He like was our culture carrier of just like whatever needed to be done, he was going to do it. So if you needed him to block, you know, Steve Sarkisian, the Texas coach, always runs like exotic things on offense. And you always just kind of need a guy that's going to come in there and like throw a random block or do something random. He's going to do those things. And so if you need dynamic and speed and somebody that wants to play football, that's going to be gritty and do the work and all those things, if he makes that team, there will be a play where somebody will go, who was that? Where did he come from? Okay.
Let's go.
So yeah. So anyway, so that's my spiel without like going into too much detail because we talked about this before, but that's how I feel about him. So I like him with the Vikings because he doesn't have to be a 1 or 2 or even a 3, right? He can just kind of be there.
Yeah. So. Let's go. Ooh, look at that. See, hey, I'm telling you, if you weren't excited about Bolden before, you should be excited now. This is coming from somebody who knows the player, who's watched the player and all that good stuff. So, you know, when I hear that, I'm super excited. Shout out Sarah. You got the yellow now. Sarah.
Okay, Sarah. Today's payday for Sarah. I know that's right,
girl. Throw that bag, girl. You hear
that's
me?
right.
Let's go. I know that's right for real, man. Shout out Sarah with the $9.99. She's like JJ McCarthy era begins. SKOL. Let's go. I love it. Shout out Sarah. Appreciate you. Hey, look, hey Sarah, once you get about 2 or 3 paychecks, we gotta see that red one. You know what I mean? We gotta see that red one. You know what I mean? The red one stay on there for like an hour. You know what I mean? That shit takes slow for sure. Yeah. Nah, for sure. Shout out to you. I appreciate it, Sarah. Absolutely. You know, you've been a supporter for a long time, and I appreciate it. Shout out all the gifted too, man. Midier was gifted a membership by shout out Jules gifting memberships out here. How many memberships you gift? Let's go.
I love it.
Let's go. Shout out y'all. Y'all doing good tonight, man. I appreciate it, man. Let's get it, man.
So you need me to stay around a little longer.
I know. Hey, you know what? Next Friday, what you got going on? It's something different going on around these sides of town tonight. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm liking it. I just think it's a great conversation. You know, obviously you just know your stuff. You're confident in what you do, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? As somebody who I'm really big on like freestyle. It's funny, like Norris, shout out Norris in the chat. Like he'll text me and be like, "Hey, Rap, you know, like his name isn't that, or you said that shit wrong, right?" And I'm like, let me go back and watch it. Yeah, you're right, but I don't care, right? Because like I freestyle. I told you earlier, I freestyle every video I do. I just hit record on my camera and start the rambling. Like I don't pause anything.
Not the rambling.
Yeah. So like, you know I'm going to make mistakes. You feel me? And Norse will remind me when I say something wrong, and we laugh about it. He doesn't do it like as trying to say, "Oh, you dumbass." He just kind of, "Hey, bro, you got that one wrong, but you know what? You can talk like a motherfucker." So everybody else is gonna believe you. Believe me.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's funny. Yeah, you know what's hard though too? It's like nobody ever talks about like that side of YouTube, where it's like most people just see the videos. Yeah. And they don't ever think about like everything that went into the videos. I mean, I used to go live all the time on my channel though too, and nobody would people would come up and talk to me sometimes, which was fine. But usually I would just be there talking to people in the chat, like, "Hey, what's going on? What questions do you have for me?" Yeah. But yeah, it's different. It's everybody does their own thing. Everybody has their own flavor. I mean, I'm outside like a freaking crazy ass woman, but that's okay.
No, I say that to say though too, like the amount of research you put in, and you know what you're talking about. I think what I respect so much, and I'm sure everybody in the chat appreciates too, is we're talking about tonight even 8 different teams, even 10. I think we kind of veered off and talked about a couple other teams, and just knowing knowing like, who their players are and what's really going on in their system right now and what's going, it's just, hey, it's impressive. It's impressive. So
Thanks.
Keep doing your thing for sure. Keep doing it. Shout out Jen J. Man. Jonathan, man, I appreciate you, man, gifting everybody, man, getting everybody signed up for Purple Gang for sure. Let's go, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. That's a fact. Fran, what's good? I see you in the building, man. Fran, oh no, you got a gift. You're a member now. That's what it is. Oh, he dropped a ton of membership. Shout out.
Oh,
shout
did
out
he?
to you. Yeah, he dropped a ton of members. Speaking of Bengals, who remembers Carl Pickens other than me? He was good, right up there with Chris Carter and Jerry Rice. So we had speaking of Chris Carter and Jerry Rice, me and Papa were talking about who do we believe is better out of Jordan Addison and Stefon Diggs. Now, I got to say, this is a great conversation right now to have really quick. And, I say Stefon Diggs, even if we're not talking about like right now, I'm just saying like Stefon Diggs, prime Stefon Diggs in Minnesota versus what I've seen so far in Jordan Addison. I'm sorry, bro. I'm taking Diggs, man. Like if I got to take out like the attitude or whatever, the divaness that everybody wants to, throw on him, which is true. I'm taking Diggs though, man. I think Diggs route running wise is crazy, bro. Like I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think I agree. So I'm going to flip this argument around a little bit and say, I don't know if Addison could ever be a 1. And I know Diggs can be a 1. Yeah. And I think that in itself kind of makes the argument for like on the field, right? On the grass, but let's be honest though. I mean, Addison kind of has a little bit of the Diggs in him. Yeah. I mean, some of the things that he was saying at the beginning of last year, I'm kind of like, oh, I think they got rid of bruh for doing like this. Yeah. But I digress. But yeah, I think that Diggs is probably better. I think Diggs Diggs was a 1. Yeah. A 1. Like he not was, yeah. Maybe, kind of. No, he was a 1. And I don't know if Addison could be a 1. Maybe he can. I don't know. Though.
He might be able to be a 1. He might be able to be a 1 on certain, like, I feel like, for example, if he was to go to like Carolina Panthers, I feel like he would be a 1. You feel me? Like, I feel like if he went to like the Browns, he would be a 1. Even I would say the Buffalo Bills right now, he would probably be a 1. Like there's a couple teams I think he would be a 1.
Keep going.
It just lets you know that there's some teams out here that are struggling hard. I mean, I feel like the Chargers, he would be a 1.
You're not wrong. I haven't heard a single lie yet. So.
Yeah, the Chargers. That shit. Now that I think about it, god damn, the list kind of growing longer and longer here. I would say the Saints, he would be a 1, right? I know they have your boy. They have your boy that I really like. They have Olave. Yeah, Olave. They have Chris Olave. But I think he would. Addison's way better than Olave in my opinion. I like Olave, but I think Olave is actually a 2.
Who's Jacksonville's 1? I know they just drafted Travis Hunter, but who is the Jacksonville's 1?
I think Brian Thomas is their number 1, and he proved it even as a rookie last year. People were sleeping on him, but like he came in and he's balling, man. He's up there. I mean, shit, I think he had a better season than Neighbors for sure. But yeah, he had a little better quarterback. I'll give him that. Like he had a little more playing on his side, even though
I think that's a good Lawrence, thing though.
Yeah. Lawrence did go down I think like mid-season, man, or maybe somewhere towards the end of the season, and he had to deal with Mac Jones. But even with Mac Jones, he was balling. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like so
who's the Patriots right now?
Diggs. Let's go. Stefon Diggs.
That's what I'm saying. And well, if we're talking about now, I might take.
If we're talking about now, Addison probably could. Yeah, like now. I'm just saying, like when I think as a Vikings fan, and I know a lot of this might have to do with the Minneapolis Miracle, but Diggs, man, he's in the books for me, man. I mean, he's not gonna ever be my favorite wide receiver, obviously, because of Randy Moss. But what I will say is, as a Vikings fan, man, Diggs with that play. Bruh, I gotta make sure. Yeah, he's up there, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm put all that diva stuff to the side, man. He gave me one of the best nights of my life if we're talking Vikings fan. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that goes for any Vikings fan out there. That had to have been one of the best nights of your life. Like, I don't think I've ever felt like that, honestly, ever. Like, as far as emotions, yeah, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Wait
Did you see that happen?
Yeah, wait till you win the Super Bowl.
I know. Once we do, oh, thanks a lot. Just rub it in.
But to be honest, though, I'm going to say this because yes, you always want to win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is great. There's some joy. There's a joy that comes when you actually win the NFC, or like for me, it was winning the AFC, because you have 2 weeks to talk shit, to gloat, to like, and it's before the game. And so there's this weird thing where it's like, I don't give a shit. Your team's not playing. Like, who are you that you get? So it's like, so if you lose the Super Bowl, you still had that 2 weeks of like, your team can't beat my team. I know that for a fact, you know? Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, going to the Super Bowl is definitely a feat that everybody celebrates because you get 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You get 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Nate, shout out Nate. He said Jags are going to be sneaky good this year. Hey, yeah, that's a possibility. There's a possibility there, man.
You could be right.
I don't see it either. Shout out TP. Shout out TP the Giant. He talking about he had to drop his rings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You know, hey, look, y'all get to have you and Really Flawed get to have those conversations. You know, y'all got y'all rings. It's cool. We getting there. Don't worry. We gonna get us one, man. One thing about JJ McCarthy, if you haven't seen the picture, the famous picture of him, you know, holding up all those rings, man. He got like 10 because he obviously won state championships in high school, which, you know, I want to go back to where you said about him throwing the ball. You know, in high school, he slung the ball like a mug at IMG.
And see, and that's why I think he's the right guy.
Yeah.
See, and I think so when I just look at football players, and again, because I am so immersed in college, I remember when they got recruited, you know, I remember when they signed, I remember when they came, like, I remember when Bijan Robinson came to Texas. Yeah. And everyone was like, Bijan, like, he's great in high school, but like, how is that going to transition to college? And it's clearly a transition. And so my point is whenever you watch guys do something really well and they come to college and it kind of gets stripped from them because they're no longer the best player on the team. Right. The game changes a little bit. Yeah. And then to go back to being that guy, I think he can. It's just like, how long till he activates that muscle again? Yeah. Because now if he would have played last year, I think it's a different conversation. But that injury is nagging me. You know, it's because I can't unsee it. And I don't know. He's going to have to take that first hit. Yeah. He's going to have to get up after that first hit. It's probably not going to feel great. He's going to doubt himself. He's got, you know, all the things have to happen. And then what another thing we don't talk about when it comes to these professional athletes, then the game ends. So now he has to get the treatment, and it's probably going to swell up a tiny bit. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be a little annoying. It's probably going to, so all of that as a human, it just takes time. It just takes time. Facts. So, and that's why I'm like, I think he'll be fine, right? I think he's going to be fine. It's just those little bitty things. He's got that first hit, the first after the game, the first traveling game. Now he doesn't even get treatment where he wants treatment. He's getting it on the road. So it's just like all these different nuances, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he'd be all right. Hey, TP, Dart is little bro, man. Knock it off, man. Dart is little bro, right? He's not. He definitely ain't better than JJ, man. Dart is little bro. Even though I do like Dart. I do like Jackson Dart. Yeah, I do like Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart, but he little bro, man. Yeah, I mean he's
how tall is Jackson Dart?
I think he's 6. I think he's like 6'3" or 4. Yeah, he's not. He's not a small guy. Yeah, he's built. He's built correctly. You know what I mean? I like him too. Don't get me wrong. I said like this year, if we didn't have a quarterback, I'd have been pounding the table for Jackson Dart. Like TP will tell you, I actually went on my boy Juke. Shout out my boy Juke. He's a Giants creator. I went on his show and told him before the draft. This was like months before the draft when we just did a random show together. I'm like, yo, you need to tell your Giants Nation, y'all need Jackson Dart. I'm telling you, that's who y'all need to get. And he clipped the video too and put it out after they drafted him. He's like, Rap called it back in the day, back a month ago, 2 months ago. I was like, yeah, let's go.
I love that.
Shout out Sarah with another $4.99. Girl, hey, do your thing, man. Spend that paper, man. Let's go. Shout out Sarah with the $4.99. She said Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Superman, Wolves, and 6. Yeah, hopefully that number don't keep climbing, Sarah. You know, that was a tough L with game 1. And then shout out to the Pacers, man. I mean, damn, boy, what are the cardiac cats, man, or cardiac kids, whatever you want to call them, man.
Refuse to lose.
They refuse to lose, you know. Hey, but I'm definitely going Wolves. I think the Wolves will be able to pull it out. I think they'll be able to pull it out. I think
they need to figure it out because these past, they got to figure it out.
Are you a basketball fan as well?
I watch, but I'm not like a fan. Like if I won't stop everything I'm doing to watch a basketball game.
Right.
Now football, I'm busy. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, me too. I'm busy.
I'm like if
Sundays
you don't
dedicated.
call me, if you don't call me Tuesday or Wednesday, don't call me. Actually, send me a text.
Yeah, facts. What is it that Vikings fans love about JJ? What is it? Hold on, let me pull this up. TP. Let me TP. Hold on.
What did
TP.
he say?
He said, "What is it that Vikings fans love about JJ? What is it? What he has done doing last offseason that got everybody all in on him? What has he done like this past offseason? I guess. I mean, everybody. I think, and you know, I'll speak for me and kind of the vibe around Vikings Nation." Because it's not even only my community, like on Vocal Vike, like this is all Vikings community. I think everywhere is a huge fan of JJ McCarthy. Part of it, I feel like it's because the Vikings actually took a chance on a quarterback. I just think that's one of the reasons. I think regardless of what the name was, we would have been supportive like this. I truly believe that. I know I would have. Whether it was Michael Penix, whether it was, you know, even though I wasn't a fan of Bo Nix, if it was Bo Nix, I would have been still like, once we would have drafted him, I'm jumping on board. Only because like the Vikings, they actually took a chance. So like it's one of those things where it just happened to be JJ McCarthy, which makes it a little better for me, at least, because I had so much, I believe in him, right? But I think that, and then in the offseason, we hear all these stories and the players coming out, and they talk about how he's just different, how he's locked in, even having the injury. He still was in the building every day, still in meetings, asking defensive players their tendencies and this, that, and the third, and kind of wanting to learn. Didn't just wait. It would have been easy for him to just rehab and stay at the house and, you know, quote unquote, watch tape, you know, at the crib, let his knee get better, whatever the case may be. Instead, he said, nah, I want to be around the team. I'm trying to pick brains out here. Like, I'm using this redshirt year as a learning experience where I can do all the mental reps, get all the mental stuff down to where when this season starts, 2025, I don't have to backtrack. I'm already, when it comes to play calling and knowing where each player on your offense is supposed to do and learning all of their jobs, because that's important as a quarterback, is you got to know everybody's job on the offense. And if it turns out to what we believe it's going to turn out to, he's checked all those boxes with the time he's had to do that with not being able to actually play. He's had nothing but time to be able to learn all of that. And I think it's going to show, you know, even though, quote unquote, he's going to be a rookie, I still think the experience is going to show a little more than a normal rookie coming out just straight out the draft. I think he's going to look like he's a step above that, you know, and the injury is the injury. We got to see, right? The injury is the injury, and we got to see if it make sure it doesn't bother him. And if he gets hit again, if he's not getting up limping, we got to see that. That's still, jury's going to be out on that. But mentally, I think he's ready. I think he's ready. I think that year did him really good. I'm excited. I'm excited, as you could tell. As you could tell.
Yeah.
So
no, and I just think I'll play devil's advocate. I think the flip side of that would be again the injury, just coming off of injury.
Yeah.
I think it would be the last time he played meaningful football. He was on a national championship team that had a fantastic offensive line, an amazing running back. He didn't have to do a lot of things, and that defense was solid. So also hit, and now he's coming into the NFL. And I think the other thing is too, is I want him to not feel like this is year two. I want him to come in and not feel like his expectations are higher because it's year 2. Does that make sense? Like, I want him to come in and like do the things he needs to do to get better and not feel like he's on a clock. Because I think the other thing that happens is Daniels had a great rookie season.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix had a great rookie season. Penix looked good towards the end of the season, and it gives you get this pressure that I need, like they're already like moving away from me, if that makes sense. Like he needs to not do that, right? Like this is year 1, you know, like this is year 1 for you. So learn like it's year 1. Anyways, but I think he'll be fine eventually. He's got to come in and figure it out. Yeah.
So real quick, we're going on an hour and 45, which this has been a great show.
Are we really?
I love this. See, time flies when you're having fun. That's a fact.
I know. I can just that's how I do that. Everybody's like, "How do you do this here?" So I'm like, "Because it's like this. It's literally like this." Yes, I send people questions. Yes, all the things. But like when we hit record, I'm not like question number 1.
And think about that, right? Like hour and 45 minutes, and I came in with really no game plan as far as list of questions or nothing. It's freestyling. That's what. But I've been doing it so long to where that's just what I do, and I'm used to doing it like that. So the dialogue, it was great. You know what I mean? It was great tonight. But I do have, real quick, Papa got a question for you because he has been asking you questions throughout the store. Throughout the show. He said, what does your guest think his final stat line will be? Speaking of JJ McCarthy, like if you had to predict his season, what do you see it looking like? And think about everything, you know, as far as
I need to see the schedule.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to pull it? I'll pull up the schedule.
If you can do that.
Let's see.
If you want my honest opinion, this is how my brain works. I need some things. I need information.
Okay. I got you. Okay. Hold up. Let me find.
Because I think that you all play some tough defenses this year.
Oh yeah, we definitely got some tough defenses. All right, boom. Let me pull this up here. All right. Are you able to see that?
Yeah, can you make it just a little bit bigger?
There you go. Is that better? Here, let me do this.
So the Lions twice.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Right.
So division, those don't count. Okay, we got Seattle.
Oh, sorry. All right,
okay.
Here we go.
We got Seattle. Interesting. Chargers. Yikes. Falcons.
Yikes. So Falcons were playing, and I'll be at that game in Minnesota. That Skull Fest game. Everybody, don't forget, we'll be throwing our big Skull Fest party.
So tough defenses. I'll say Chicago's just a wash because it's a division. I'll say the Lions are a wash division, and I'll say Green Bay's a wash because division. So then we have the Falcons, the Chargers, the Seahawks, the Commanders,
Baltimore,
the Bengals, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
You said the Dallas.
Ooh, who's at the very bottom? I can't see. Right under Chicago.
That's Green Bay. We got the cheese grater. Yeah.
Okay.
You know we be shredding. We be shredding their cheese every time we play them. So.
Woof.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That's not favorable.
It's not favorable. It's you know, when you're looking at it right now, it doesn't look too favorable. But I'm telling you, I think he's gonna have at least.
Who's at home? Who's at home?
All right, let's see. So the home games, you mean not divisions, but just kind of okay. So
Who's coming in? Okay.
So we play Washington at the crib. We play Baltimore at the crib. We play Cincinnati at the crib. Let's see who else we play at the crib. That's not. We play Philly at the crib. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really it. Because we're at New York. We're in Dallas.
So I think he's probably going to have
at Seattle.
I think in order for the Vikings to be successful this year, I think he needs to have about 3,500 yards.
Okay.
And I think he's probably going to throw 10 to 12 interceptions.
10 to 12. Oh, that ain't bad.
I don't think because he doesn't throw interceptions. That's one thing he usually doesn't do. He doesn't take risks because he's really cautious with the ball. But I don't know about the touchdowns, but the only thing that concerns me is I am basing this off of them not having to win games because of JJ McCarthy.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want him to have to throw for 4,000 yards this year.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm saying that to say, I think the Vikings are going to be a better team.
Yeah.
If they do if he's like 3,500 yards, you know what I'm saying? And the running back has a great year. That's what
I'll say
want.
this. I like where you're going with that. I'll second that. I'll say 3,500 yards. I like the 10 to 12 interceptions, and I'll take 28 touchdowns.
Right. Like, yeah, I want him to have like a year where you're like, he was solid. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. He was solid.
I'll take 25 to 28 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I want the running game to be the it factor. And I want the Vikings defense to step up and help them a little bit.
This is the thing.
It's a good field position.
Right. And as a Vikings fan, right, we've had Kirk Cousins who at the end of every season, we were able to say, boy, our quarterback threw for 4,000 yards, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we didn't do that, but our quarterback threw for 4,000 yards and had, 38 touchdowns. This is the thing. I don't want to have those conversations anymore. We've had them enough, right? That like, we gotta, like you said, I like what you said, because that's the same vibe and the same line that I'm pushing is I want the team to win as a team, and I want JJ to just be the leader he is and play the game like he knows how to play the game. And if he does that, we can be good. I don't care. I honestly don't care if it's 2,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. If we're going to a Super Bowl, I don't give a damn. That's the thing. Like, I'd rather have the celebration of the Vikings are good rather than we lost, but JJ had 4,500 yards and 50 touchdowns and 1 MVP. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. I don't want that to just for us to be right and say, we told you JJ was going to be great, but the team isn't winning, right? Like, I want the team to win, and that's just the bottom line. I think all of us can agree to that. Obviously, we believe that JJ is going to have a decent season, but if we could have it our way and somebody told us, hey, you can either have JJ have a mid-season, but yet your team is super successful, or you can have your team not make the playoffs, lose in the wild card game, but JJ McCarthy will throw for over 4,000 yards and have, almost 40 touchdowns, and you can put him up on a pedestal and say, hey, I told you he's the guy, like he can play the game. I don't want that one.
And so I think when you have a young quarterback, I think your path to victory is, especially if like he's not going to get out there and scramble like Lamar Jackson and do all those things, right? Like, not saying he can't scramble and all the things.
He's known
that's
to be
not
athletic,
his game,
right?
And that's like not right. And so you don't want to put all of that on him. You don't want to have to do that. Now, sometimes he might have to go win you the game. Cool.
Right.
But you don't want it to be on him. I don't want the Vikings run this year to be on every game JJ McCarthy has to get in the 2-minute drill and go score a touchdown. I don't want that.
I don't think we'd be successful if it had to be that.
Right. Right. So
it wouldn't pan out. It wouldn't pan out. So last question to end it off. Which division is going to be better? Or
I knew you were going to ask me this. I fucking knew it.
Which one you think? Is it going to be, who would you crown? Is it going to be the NFC North? Because the AFC North, like you said, having the Ravens and what we feel about what we talked about earlier about Cincinnati. Obviously the Steelers are going to be a toss-up, but they're always kind of like we talked about. They're always in the fight regardless. But then you think about the NFC North, where last year, there was a point in time where we were 10-2 at a point. The Lions were like 11-1 or some shit, and the Packers were like 10-2. Like, there was a point in time where
it was crazy.
We all had double digits.
I think that the NFC North is going to win more games than the AFC North.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, I think that's going to be true. I don't think the NFC North is going to have a season like they did last year.
Okay. And now is that because of the young quarterback play? I
think the young quarterback play, the schedule, the way the schedule looks this year. The Lions had a hard schedule last year just because they were
Yeah.
they won the division or whatever.
Yeah, they had.
But the schedule this year, I feel like for the NFC North is a little bit harder than it was last year.
Okay.
And then I also think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but even you all are playing like the Falcons, the Eagles, the Chargers are going to be sneaky good. Like you all are even playing some of those teams where it's kind of like, yeah, maybe, but and then the other thing about playing the Chargers is you're playing JJ's old coach,
which is going to be a great game on Thursday night, by the way, prime time, which we suck at. All right,
and Harbaugh's already kind of thinking, okay, he hates it when you know what I mean. Like he knows,
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but I think the NFC North is going to win more games because I think that the AFC North is known for being scrappy. We're not known for, we don't fly high. We're just the division that nobody wants to see coming into town.
True. That is true. That's every year. That's every year.
Yeah, right. We're like the bullies that nobody wants to see them. Like we might not be shit, but you don't want to play us.
AFC North this year. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Fact.
Yeah. I mean, so that's just kind of how I feel. But I definitely think you are going to win more games. If I had to place money, I would bet the NFC North is going to win more games.
Let's go, man. Shout out the NFC North. We heard it from the queen. She said the NFC North is better. Clip it, everybody. Clip it.
Clip it, post it, put it everywhere. It's okay. Some of the things I've been saying about the Steelers lately, people are like, I cannot believe you said that out loud. I'm like, and I meant it.
Yeah.
Every word. Every single word I meant to say it.
Yeah. So before we go, I had a great show. I have a question for you though before we end. Go ahead.
Who are your losses?
So my losses, when we just went through it, I have the Bengals as a loss, only because I feel like that's a tricky game based off of what we talked about tonight too. All of those reasons. I have the Eagles as a loss.
Okay.
I have the Commanders as a loss. And then I had the Ravens as a loss. So then I felt like I had one more. I think I had 5. The Ravens, so Bengals, Eagles, Commanders, Ravens, and I had a sweep in the Lions. So it wasn't the Lions. Hold on. Let me pull it up one more time. Let me see.
So you think all your losses are then coming out of your division? Or not in your division?
Not in our division. Nope. I got us whooped. I think I might have gave us a loss at the Packers the last game too. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, the Packers. So I got 5. I got 5 losses total. So I have us dropping 5 games. And that's right now. You know what I mean? That's right now. That could change. I got us sweeping Detroit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had we talked about it. I got Detroit taking a step back. I mean, I know they've been on their high horse the past couple of years. That's cool. But I think this is going to be bigger than what a lot of people are thinking when they've lost not only their offensive coordinator that was superior, but their defensive coordinator. I think that's a big deal, man. Like for people to not think that doesn't mean anything is crazy to me. Like, yes, they have the talent, but bro, they just lost I mean, god damn. I mean, I can see if it was just one or the other, but they lost both. Like, come on, that's tough. I mean, and it's part of the business, right? When you have coaches that are performing at a high level, they're going to be sought after when the offseason comes around. That's just what it is. And fortunately for us, unfortunately for them, hey, both of them walked out the door. I don't think it's going to be the same. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's going to be a difference there in a good way.
Is Seattle coming to you, or is LA coming to you? Or are you
we're going to LA and we're going to Seattle, which Seattle's always tough for us. But
just the travel.
I'm not scared of Sam Darnold. And a lot of us don't even think Sam Darnold's going to be playing in that game. We think by that time, Jalen Milroe might take the starting position. Listen, Sam Darnold is going to go back to Sam Darnold. All right. Like, I'm just going to keep it honest with you. That's why I feel like, we ain't going to go into JJ spill again, but that's why I feel like it's different over here in Minnesota when it comes to quarterback development. We have the right guy. We have, which I mean, KOC, Josh McCown. These guys know how to get quarterbacks ready. They know exactly, how to not put too much on their plate. They know what they can handle, and it goes and it shows out on the field. And Sam Darnold is a prime example. Like if you didn't get it with Kirk Cousins, the Sam Darnold experience should tell you everything you need to know about this coaching staff as far as Kevin O'Connell being able to develop a quarterback. I mean, this man literally turned him went from a $10 million quarterback to a $40 million quarterback like that, man, in 9 months. Let's go, man. Shout out Kevin O'Connell and Josh McCown and you know, everybody else that's involved, because I know it isn't just those two people. You know, I'm sure we have some other guys in the background that are
I'm sure
involved.
somebody else helped.
You know, but again, it's like that evidence right there tells you everything you need to know. And that's why it's hard for me to think that JJ McCarthy isn't going to be a savage, man, because he has the mentality already. And knowing KOC and Josh McCown being there on his side, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2, don't it? It just makes sense. I could see it happening. So
yeah.
No,
I think it makes sense. I can't wait to actually dive into the NFC North as far as scheduling goes and see when you play who, where it's at. Do you travel? Do you come back from Seattle after that long trip back, and then who do you play on that game back?
So we play Washington. Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's at home, but yeah.
And then I wonder if Washington's like on a bye week. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many like nuances.
Could you know, Washington take a step back too? Like, you never know. Sophomore slump. Now, I don't believe Jaden Daniels is gonna hit a sophomore slump like the one that we're used to seeing. That's been over because I just think he's that good. Like I'm a firm believer in Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem with the Commanders is that I think a lot of people that just watched the news of what they think the Commanders did last year, they all think that it was Daniels. That defense was really fucking good.
That defense was really good. Yeah.
And nobody ever talks about it. And they're like, oh, Daniels is going to take a step back. And I'm like,
think the play calling was really good too.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what about the defense?
Yeah, I agree.
So again, I think that's what I always say, though. There's things about football that I always know to be true. Fans of not that team will always just see the big thing, and it's usually the quarterback or the star player on defense, right? Or it's like, and they will only look at that and think that that's the team. And it's like there's a whole different side of the Commanders last year that were aggressive and that were great on defense. And that looked amazing and had a great run game. Not Daniels, like the team itself was a really good team.
Yeah.
So even if he does take a step back, I mean, people say CJ Stroud took a step back. CJ Stroud was in the freaking playoffs. Yeah. Won a playoff game. Like, what are we talking about? Is that a step back? Like, the Steelers would do anything for that right now.
Yeah, that ain't a step back at all. No, I agree 100%. No, that wasn't a step back at all. You know, these, again, you know, I know we keep going back to my boy JJ. But I got to talk about it real quick since we're going to continue on this conversation. Is the past couple years, you have to agree here. All right. Young quarterbacks, this isn't early 2000s anymore, the 90s anymore. You don't have to have these quarterbacks are training from the moment that they are in 5th grade. And they're training with NFL type caliber coaches that are getting these kids ready to get to the next level. And we're seeing what's happening now. You can even say the past 3, 4, 5 years, these rookie quarterbacks are able to come in and actually be impactful. Now, now are they being Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady off the rip? No, but they're still able to get a team. Bo Nix, playoffs. You know what I mean? Like playoffs. Like that's just CJ Stroud. Playoffs. Like these are young quarterbacks coming in. As long as the situation is molded correctly, we look at Jaden Daniels, NFC Championship game, rookie season. Right. It's about knowing what you have. And these guys they're usually, if you're, man, listen, all I'm going to say is it's 2025 now. And these quarterbacks coming out of college now, yes, there's still a such thing as a bust. But a lot of times it's based off of the situation they get drafted to. You know, I think, you know, our situation's good. A lot of these other, like Bo Nix, having a Sean Payton, like, I mean, it made sense. Like he had Drew Brees, Bo Nix, they're kind of played the same type of way. The offense, it was simple. You know, he was able to run it because he did similar things in Oregon. It just fit, right?
You know what what I think you're saying, you're not saying this, but this is what I'm hearing, is the NFL too is evolving. And the way the game is played is evolving. Even, and I've said this for like 10 years at this point, we're slowly moving to like positionless football. And what I mean by that is we're slowly moving to, if you're an athlete and you can go chase him down or you can run away from him, we need you. And it's happening in college, right? Like if you look at college, if you look at the college game, a lot of guys that are getting recruited now are not even linebackers or running backs or whatever. They're athletes. Yeah. So it's like so-and-so athlete, so-and-so
called
athlete.
edge rushers now.
Right. Every team has like 5 athletes that they've recruited. And you're like, what position are you? And it's like, I just go get the quarterback or I run away from the guy on defense. Like that's my position. And I think that helps though, these young quarterbacks is because they don't have to come in and the system is, I'm going to read this defense. But if this defense, if I can't read it and I have room, I'm running. Like I don't have time to be reading this defense, you know? And so I think the game is changing. And I think that's why these younger quarterbacks are being helped a little bit. And Tom Brady kind of said this, but he said it in the negative, like the negative context.
He said
of, like,
it's
people
not
aren't
good.
learning. Yeah, people aren't learning systems and people aren't reading defenses. And I'm like, they are reading defense. They're reading defenses and saying, I don't know what the fuck this is. I got to get out of here.
Right. Exactly. No, I seen that. That was a great interview from Tom Brady. You know, one thing I think he's just going to be stuck in that mindset based off of him having to go through that. And a lot of times when it's almost like, oh, back in the day, you know how we use it, old school. I'm 36. So I mean, I may look young,
I would never reveal my age.
Yeah, and I don't expect it to. But I'm 30. Look, we always gonna go back when I'm talking to the kids and stuff. Hey, back in the days, hey, we, this, that. I think Tom Brady, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, hey, the league was different when you were in the league, Tom Brady. Like that process existed, and you had to follow that process to have a better chance at being successful, to up your percentage of being a successful quarterback.
I agree.
Nowadays, the training is different. Everything's different. I mean, even all the way down to the medicines. You know, everything is just kind of elevated, evolved, and it's just one of those things now where I have confidence now when I'm watching these college quarterbacks. I'm like, yo, this dude is just good, bro. Like, I don't care if he's going to the NFL. Like, he's going to be good at the next level.
He's an athlete. Yeah, he's just an athlete. Yeah, like there's no. What position do you play? Can you run? Can you catch? Can you tackle?
Like I watched Jaden Daniels play college last year, and I'm like, yo, there is like football to me is football, bro. Like there's no way this kid's gonna go and play football in the next level and not gonna be good. He has to be good. Look at how he plays, and it just showed. You know what I mean? And that goes for a lot of the other quarterbacks that we like. So I'm excited. I just think it's becoming a quarterback friendly type league as far 100%. As you don't have to be, you can win without being the guy like you don't have to be the Tom Brady standard or anything like that. You can win with a Brock Purdy. You can win with a Bo Nix, who was, looked at as a second round talent at one point going into the draft. Some people had him dropping further than that. I mean, you don't have to be like right now, the Tyler Shuggs and all these guys.
I was just going to say, but isn't that what the NFL is telling us? That's how they drafted. Yeah. They drafted, in my opinion, they drafted on athleticism. Yeah. They drafted on, if I need to throw somebody out there right now, who can run out of the way? Yeah. Who can avoid the sack?
And that's what I've always wanted. Like when we had Kirk Cousins, that was my biggest thing, was improvisation and the lack of that.
He was stationary.
He's too stationary. The league has changed. It's transition. These edge rushers are getting faster. They're getting stronger. And the tackles aren't keeping up with them nowadays. And even the guards aren't. Like the defenders, for some reason, are working extra hard. And the offensive linemen are still sitting there saying, well, I can just eat burgers and get big. But that's not working, bro. Why? Because these guys are killing you with speed now. They figured it out. They cracked the code. Now you have defensive tackles that are 50 pounds lighter than they used to be. And they're just fast, bro. Like they just use speed now and run around you, just get past you. The first move, get out the way. Like you just, I'm flashing by you. And you see that. And now what does that mean? We all know the fastest way to the fastest route to the quarterback is the A gap. The second fastest is the B gap. I mean, that's just facts. And you're looking at these guys now, they're just getting, you're looking at the new defensive tackle type formula, which I feel like it's kind of going back to getting a little bulkier and trying to get some beef in there, which I feel like you need beef here and there, but you are seeing the speed now. Like speed is going to kill. That's just what it is.
Because you can't teach it. If you can't teach it, it's harder to defend it. Because how do we defend that? What do you do?
Yeah.
And again, they're drafting it. They're telling you we need fast, we need freakishly athletic.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the rest.
Right.
Thank you. We'll figure out the rest. And I don't care where you came from.
Right.
If you're fast and
if you're fast, come on.
Come on. Yeah, we'll work it out. We will.
And there's a difference between, I want to make this clear. There's a difference between 40 fast and being fast on the field.
Yeah, like I'm talking about explosion. Like, yeah. Because I don't buy into all the. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Straight line speed is one thing. Like there's, most wide receivers, they're super fast running straight line speed. But how quick are you actually on the field? You know, because you see a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of examples. Like you can use like your Hunter Renfrows or your Cooper Kupps. These motherfuckers ran like 4.6s, almost 4.7s, Cooper Kupp. But like on the field, he's so good at getting separation. It's because he's quick with his in and out, his routes and stuff like that. He just has on field speed. He has like in-game speed. There's a difference. You got to know how to use both. But you know, again, if we were running a sprint, then okay, yeah, I want the 4.2 guy or whatever the case may be. Or if you're doing a lot of gadget plays like the Chiefs are using Worthy, which I love, and I want the Vikings, Silas Bolden. That's kind of one of the reasons why I want him is to use him at some of those type of situations, because there's a time and place for those where they can turn a game around. So, but again, man, that on-field quickness is everything, and that goes back to when you have players like that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's why you need a quarterback that can get up out of there. You have to. It has to be part of the bag.
Get up out of there. Exactly. That's it. If it's not working, get me a couple yards, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just get me a couple.
Yeah. It has to be.
I love that.
Hey, well, we had a great conversation. I mean, we went on for another 30 minutes after we said, last thing. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And you never really told me a time, so it's fine. But honestly, I just want to thank you for just well, first of all, thank you for recording with me, because you didn't know me from anybody. And I'm just like, hey, I have this idea. Like, here's a couple of links. Click on them. I promise Absolutely. I'm normal. So I just thank you for, joining me, chatting with me about the Vikings. Obviously, a great conversation. You'll know before it releases, so you can tell people when it, before it's coming. I'll tell you. And then also, I just appreciate like you just being supportive and providing a space, because I think I always tell people like being a woman talking football is hard enough, but when other men are willing to share their space with you, it helps you, right? Because you're like, no, I want to talk too, it's like the kid on the playground. You're like, I can play. So I appreciate you for like doing that, having me come on and just asking me, because some people just don't ask me to come on. I don't think they think I'm going to say yes. But I don't think I've ever said no.
I got my boy next year right here who said dope stream TP. If you're looking for Giants, just holler at my boy right here. That's get him on your next series. Line him up, TP, man. I know he'll follow you and stuff, man. TP, make sure you subscribe to our channel and let her know you in the building, man. But
I love that. So shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Shout out to your community. I'm usually in the chat, like with them, and I will be back in the chat. So
absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Saying those kind words, and I appreciate you. And I don't look at it as, obviously, I know you're a woman, but I look at it as you just know ball. You feel me? Like, you just know ball. Yeah, I'm just gonna guess right now. A wild guess. No, but
awesome.
You know ball, and you definitely earned you gained my respect just based off of me doing homework on you, and I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I feel honored to be on your show. I mean, it was a flawless victory. Let's go. This was, I gotta say, this was one of the better shows. Like, to be honest, I'm being honest. I know I may say that for a couple other guests that I've had on, like Coach, for example, a couple weeks ago. Like, me and him had a great dialogue, but like this show tonight, man, this was one of the ones that I'll rewatch. I'll go back and watch it and be like, damn, that was a good one, man. We talked about a lot of things and really talked football tonight. Vikings football, Steelers football, AFC North, NFC North, and a couple other things sprinkled in there. So I love it.
And thank you for that too, because I always tell people I can talk about any football team, because that's how much I watch football. So it might sound crazy, but like whoever we want to talk about, let's discuss it. That's the cool thing too about the series that I tell people. If you watch my series, you will learn things about other teams that you didn't even know you needed to know about those teams. And that's the fun part, is that I just get to filter through all this information and I get told all this information, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
hey, he got a point. Would you be down for that? TP said we need her as a moderator when we go at it. So like last year, I'll tell you the backstory. Last year, before we played the Giants, it was week 1. We did a show where it was like I had me and I think we had 2 other Vikings fans, and they had three Giants fans, and we kind of just did a big stream where we just kind of, talked our shit, like for real, like as we were just men being on there, hey, F your team, my team better, and this is why. You know what I mean? Okay. Going back and forth. And I think it would be cool though, as a moderator for real, for you to be in the middle and be like, oh, fellas, hold on now. Let me tell you something now. You know your team ass for real, TP now. You know the Giants suck. Hey, TP, you ain't saying nothing but a thing, dog, and she gonna tell you the truth. She gonna hurt your feelings over there. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I will definitely be unbiased. Yeah, we can do that. I'm up for moderating.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. As well as adding your 2 cents and why you feel the way you feel about how the Giants are going.
Ooh, I get to. Okay, if we do it, then I get to decide who has the better argument, and I get to say why.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Now that'll be fun. It. So that's week 6. I think we see them week 16. So it's a while away, but hey, it's something that I definitely sign up for because I'm down for it, man. This is fun, though.
Yeah, it was so fun, and I'm happy to join. Well. Yeah, I'm happy to join. I have the one more to record, but I'm like, I love doing it. And now when it's over and then they're rolling out, like every time one releases, I'm literally like, like I haven't seen it 3 times by the time it releases. But anyways, it's really fun. So thank you for being supportive. Thank you for your community for being supportive. And thank you everybody who's like here watching and listening and all the good things.
Absolutely. And real quick too, I know we keep on going, but
and one more thing.
We're having so much fun. One more thing, y'all. One more thing, I promise. Is first of all, make sure y'all go subscribe again. Go subscribe to our channel right now, everybody. Go subscribe after we hit off live. Make sure y'all go over there. Her name is in the title. So all you got to do is click her name on the title of the video and go hit that subscribe button. Show her support. Show her how we do over here. And this won't be the last time she'll be on the show. So that's a fact. I want to set another one up, sooner than later for sure. And we talk some ball, especially with OTAs and everything coming up.
You know what we'll do? After yours comes out, after the NFC North comes out, I'll come back that Friday.
Okay. Let's lock it in.
And then you can tell me like, okay, this is what I think
let's pull it up we'll pull it up on the screen and do a live reaction to it. How about that?
Let's go. We can do that. So anyways, we have so many options. It's the off season. This is what you do in the off season, right? You just have fun.
Have some fun, for sure. Well, I appreciate you, and we will see you again. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all and we love y'all. Holla at you.